Hey, we are here with Death Unto Madness. This is episode 33, and we are back with some more Burning Wheel action. If you haven't checked it out already, you might want to go watch episode 32. We did a little side episode thing with Josh, doing some Hagiel stuff, where we kind of went back in time, saw the life of the god, and revealed a bunch of secrets and things. You guys don't have to watch it. Whatever's relevant will come out, I'm sure, in this session or in sessions to come. But for the listeners, make sure there's some things got dropped, so make sure you check that out because it wasn't a normal episode. So anyway, so we are gonna jump right into it here. I have a scene that kind of start us off with that's like happening in a place you guys aren't, and then we'll kind of, I think, jump in media res for a moment, get like this big reveal of what's happening from your characters' perspectives, and then we'll jump into Artha and figure out where everyone wants to go from there, and figure out beliefs and stuff based on that. Okay, so first thing we see the Tartuans marching, right? We see the big giant like black rock golems marching across the land. They are right. They made their way across the border between the dark side and the light side of the planet, and we see that they're in some sort of mountainous terrain. That's the first thing we see, and pretty quickly here we get a couple of shots of them just like marching and plowing down mountains and things. Right, they're not super huge, but like they're certainly causing destruction in their wake through this mountain pass. And then we see on the horizon, we see the headquarters of the Brass League, the mercenary company that Avra went to try to hire, and then they turned out that they were working with Tannerin, working with the these black rock golem things. And we see the headquarters, this big red painted fortress in the foreground. The Tartuans are headed towards it, and maybe at first we're thinking, oh, are they going to attack them? Like, what's happening? Have they outlived their usefulness? But I think we do a hard cut, and we just see the members of the Brass League, and maybe one of the rock golem things that they had brought with them, who had like survived Citus's attack on their base. They're standing there, like waiting to greet the army, right? The big army of rock golems is coming towards them, and we get a hard cut from that moment to Tsurash, this huge golem, the one that was fighting Citus. Absolutely massive, has like kind of green cracks throughout his surface. Kind of leaning down to speak with Beirut and Arisha, the leader of the Brass League, played by Chadwick Boseman, and his sister, played by Letitia Wright. And they're kind of like, obviously, if they have failed their steel tests, Beirut is maybe doing a little bit better than Arisha, but it's still like very, very daunting to be in the presence of these things. And Surash, this huge golem, like leans down and basically says,
your work for us has been admirable, but we require more of thee. The Brass League will fall in line with the Legion, and we will attack Nema. We still have business there. First, though, we require the work of the relic makers.
And, Surash turns his gaze on Arisha, who's supposedly the best relic maker they have there. Enchanter, right? Making enchanted items and stuff. And he turns to her and says,
I require you to make a weapon. I will give you the specifications and some power to siphon into it, but we require the work of a relic maker to acquire this item.
And then Arisha frowns and says,
I will of course help wherever I can, but may I ask what this item will be and what you need it for? I can't quite fathom beings such as you needing anything beyond what you already are to accomplish your will. And Surash can't really, there's not really any facial expressions to judge his mood from this, but he's, in whatever way, maybe someone who's familiar with these things could tell that he's amused. Certainly when he starts speaking, he is. And he says,
Do not worry. We will not be wielding this weapon. It is for your brother. There are some things that even we cannot accomplish. Mortals are forever the pawns of our battle. You, Commander, I have a job for you. Someone I need killed, and only the hands of a man can accomplish it. But not just any hands. Hands that have been given power.
And Beirut nods slowly and says, Who do you need me to kill? And Surash says in a grinding voice,
I am tasking you to create a weapon that will kill gods. Our first target is Nes-Anhur. Enchanting relic making will be ours. And then there will be no limits on what we can accomplish, what you can accomplish, relic maker.
Turns to Erasha as he says that. And the two siblings just look at each other as if to say, what have we got ourselves into? And we cut from there and then we get the sequence that we just saw with Joser, right? Reading the Irida, and his eyes are glowing, and he says, there are less secrets than you think. And he says that like very confidently, right? We get this like, I just learned all this information sort of vibe from him. But then he frowns, and then Joser, do you want to describe what you do in this moment? This is, the same thing we talked about the last session. What you go over to the window, and what do you see? Mainly in terms of like, anything about what the way Joser is doing this that's relevant, right?
Yeah, I think Joser doesn't go over to the window.
Okay, all right.
He looks up and he says, there are fewer secrets than you think. And I know most of them now. And then he just sighs. I don't think we have as much time as I had hoped. And there probably is a change to the lighting outside.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was just going to describe. No one's necessarily like in front of the window to immediately see this, but suddenly we see a dimming happen, right? And it's not like the sun just goes out necessarily, but it's certainly a change that none of you would expect given your, the way you've lived your lives for your literally entire life, right? The sunlight on this planet is constant. It never changes. It never falters. And suddenly it dims. And it changes color, right? It changes from like this kind of like orange yellow, maybe a little bit of reddish, depending on where you are on the planet, into like a sickly white green. And who would be the first person to go look out the window and check that out?
Probably not me. I'd probably be like staying by Ben.
Right, yeah, you're just
This is
Ben.
like immediately after the last session, right? Time-wise? Yeah, I wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Would Avra? Otherwise, I can make an NPC do it.
I'm fine with it being me. Finn is just very active at the moment, so I don't know how much I'm active.
No, that's fine. Yeah, and this is just like, I was just curious who actually is the person who we see step over.
Yeah.
So I think Avra steps over, and you see the sun. So remember, as a reminder, there are two suns, right? There's the yellow sun, which is always constant, tidally locked to the planet. And then there's the white dwarf and that's the way you get your day cycle, right? There's like a 48-hour period roughly that is considered one quote unquote day, and then a 48-hour period that's considered one quote unquote night. And the day is when the white dwarf is seen in the sky. The night is considered when the white dwarf is on the other side of the planet, towards the dark side. It's a constant cycle. You're familiar with it. But Avra, you see that the white dwarf has eclipsed the sun. It happens infrequently, but technically, there's no way it hasn't happened at some point given the orbits. But based on what Joser just said, you feel that there's something different about this, right? And Joser can reveal this in his own time or whatever, but for canon's sake, this will be quickly revealed to all the characters. The white dwarf just got tidally locked in front of the yellow sun. So it's stuck there. It's not moving, right? Which Joser knows more things, more of the implications of that, but it's generally bad. And Avra, I think, as a prophetess, you can, in your time with the Irida, that's bad. It's going to make your enemy more powerful and you weaker. And the one thing I want to do before we actually jump into Artha and into beliefs and instincts and stuff and try to figure out what we want to do here, I do want you to make a will test for me. Okay. When you see this.
Oh.
And I think we'll make it an ob 3.
I'm assuming no help or advantages on that.
I don't think so, yeah. Unless you could spend Artha if you want to. You have 2 persona, I suppose. But
no, I'll keep those.
Yeah, this isn't like you drop dead or get mind controlled or anything. Yeah.
Did ob 3?
Yeah. Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, so this means that if you had failed, this is Avra clutching her head and going to the ground in pain. But instead, this is let's check my lists here briefly. This is you feel like a weight on your mind. You can sense, so remember how Cyrillus fed you cannibal meat and you went a little mad and that's why you dreamed these visions? You get this sense that that's still in your head, and the madness aspect of it, right? Before it's you've learned to kind of maybe control it, or unlike your father who had this same sort of thing happen to him and went irrevocably mad. You were able to kind of accept the visions and through Sidus's help kind of help figure them out and not be overwhelmed by them. The presence and the light of this white dwarf of the smaller sun suddenly makes all of it turn to start scrambling in your brain. You manage to get hold of your own mind and be fine, right? But you feel your nerve and your sanity start to slip a little bit in that moment as you're resisting it. And you know that this is trouble, and you're gonna have to figure out something here, as opposed, with your what Cyrillus did to you. Otherwise, this white dwarf is gonna slowly unravel your brain, because of the thing that's happened to you in your dreamer train stuff. But we'll go ahead and cut to beliefs and instincts from there. Read it and have a conversation if we need to about any goals or whatever that anyone wants to have here. We can fill in information if you guys need it as to what is coming in the future. Joser at the very least can tell us what he tells you guys about what's coming. That's probably a good place to start before we actually jump into beliefs. Is for Josh to just tell us, maybe just out of character, what is Joser actually revealed to the group, so that we know what is in the future, what's ahead for our characters and what they might want to plan then from there.
Well, I know a couple of the key things, especially to do with Avra, probably aren't things that Joseph would know, or at least in concrete steps enough to tell yet.
Yeah.
But after he does his things, he probably looks over to probably Caledon, this guy I'd have it, and says, Caledon, do you happen to have a map of Sinia?
I think I do somewhere here. What's going on exactly? Avra? And then, but he like distractedly goes over and like tries to find it for you. But yeah, he hands you the map.
Excellent. Joseph spreads it out. He says, when I wrote the Irida, I placed several failsafes within it. Our next step is definitely that we need to get Sinia back.
Okay, I think we already knew that. Is there more context as to why we should do this?
Yes. The Irida has been shaping Sinia for a specific purpose for a long time. It has been arranged in a specific way, a specific pattern. I had it do so since its beginning. Should we be able to take it over and hold it, and provided we do a specific ritual with the right king in the throne, we should be able to free the hold that the Tatuans have on Tatuit itself, or at least on the souls that abide there at the moment. Right now,
I think some
everybody
of that went over my head.
Right now, every soul that dies goes to Tatuit. That is not
of
how
course,
it was
isn't that popular mythology?
It's not how it was meant to be from the beginning. Only the darkest of souls were meant to go there. Now it is everyone. It is been corrupted to hold every soul's way, possibly to do with corruption. And he like sighs again. We don't have time to wax lyrical. If we are able to take over Sinia, we are able to strike a very hefty blow against the Tatuans. At the very least, very few of them would actually be able to enter the city, and in small enough numbers that we may have a chance to actually combat them well. It will make for an actual home base, a base that we could use to strike against them, and to make an actual step to solving this problem. Something to, at the very least, hold for the father's return.
And by Tartuans, you mean those things we found, or those things that Citus fought?
Yeah, those ones were small ones, but yeah, there are bigger ones. Little babies.
Cool. So basically,
they are working currently with the Brass League to build a weapon to kill me. It's a typical thing. Everyone wants to kill me. But, eventually they will march here. We need to make sure that we are gone when that happens. I will attempt to inform the populace before they are actually on our doorstep so that they have time to prepare. But right now we need to solve a few issues we have first and make steps.
And what would those be?
First of all, are we currently actually harmonious?
I don't know what that means.
Well, we have just had a wonderful argument. Is that settled? We cannot start plucking specks from people's eyes unless we have removed the gigantic tattoo-sized logs in our own. Is it really time to be healing the world when we have not even found ourselves healthy?
Yeah, I mean, do Maya and Alpheus begrudgingly nod, we're good, we're cool?
I mean, Maya doesn't. We had our moment. She just goes, "I'm good."
Good. Then we should start sorting out getting ready to leave. I should work with Avra and perhaps Ben, give him a few pointers as to how exactly one leads. But yes, when we actually have a safe space in Sinia, then we can work on the grander schemes. But for now, we have a purpose. Let's get it done.
Cool. Yeah, I think we can cut from there and just talk as players now about what's ahead. Okay, so let's just go ahead and go character at a time here, and we can talk through anything if we need to figure out specifics of beliefs or whatnot based on what's happening right now. So Alpheus, what is going on with you here? Do we need to change any of these beliefs? Let's see. Your first one's still viable.
Like I can still get him established as king.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I don't care about him getting kidnapped anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, I think we already. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, is there a different reason why you want Ben to be king?
Can I change it to like I believe Ben should be the king or something?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like maybe it's his
right. I'm looking forward to the Alpheus Maya team up now to combat against this sticky situation with Avra and Caliphus.
Yeah, I had to walk away for a second. What did I miss? Is there a summary?
Yeah. So the basic idea of what's happening right now is the big rock golem things that Avra met, and so you guys know about in general, are coming. Joser knows when they're coming, and they're coming soon, and they're coming to kill him, among other things. They want to kill the gods in general. He's high on their list of targets. And so the idea here is Joser is probably going to try to warn the city, or someone probably needs to try to warn the city of this. Whether or not they can convince them of anything, who knows. But the general idea is that you guys need to pack up your army and leave ASAP, right? Get out of here as quickly as possible, go to Sinia. Joser also revealed that he has been so because of the Irida, like the prophecy book or whatever, that Joser apparently wrote way back when, Sinia itself has been built for a specific purpose, and that purpose involves like being able to protect against what's coming and maybe fight against it. Okay. There's like magical things about it that he hasn't necessarily revealed yet. That so basically, Joser's like, yeah, Sinia is very important, even more important than we thought. We really need it. We need to go and get it back. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that mattered. I don't think there's anything besides that.
But we still need to take Sinia back over.
Yes, exactly. So, but the idea is that we should, Joser's like, okay, we should wrap up what we're doing here in Nima as quickly as we can and get going, because bad things are on the horizon. Okay. So I would say
like about that.
Yeah, I was gonna say Alpheus might be a good person to talk to the populace and be like, hey all, a bunch of golem demons are heading your way. You should probably do something about that.
Well, if I recall correctly, Alpheus actually isn't very good at oratory.
That's true. Yeah,
I'd have to persuade them to do
it. Yeah, he might be able to go to like the main dude, which I think he already did actually. But like the thing with but the thing with this kingdom is that it's like a meritocracy with a whole bunch of people on like a council that rules the place. So even if the most important rich guy is convinced of something, doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's just gonna believe what you say. I suppose you could, you could make a belief if you wanted to go to that guy and be like, here's what's coming. Let's figure out a plan. I need to convince you personally that this is a good idea.
So my goal is to warn, where are we at? Nima? Am I thinking of the wrong town?
Nima, yeah, you're right.
So we need to warn them of what's coming too. Or
Yeah, because as of right now, you just have that one guy and his mercenaries convinced to come help you reclaim Sinia. No one knows that there's a threat to Nima right now. But yeah, you'll also have to do this in a way that the guy will still come with you to Sinia. I guess,
because what if he's like, oh no, we need to protect Nima. We don't care about you anymore.
That might be a risk that we'd have to figure out. Yeah. What are you thinking, Josh, in terms of what Joser would want to try to do, given that stuff?
Joser would make a cloud and fly up in the sky and tell him. That's me.
Okay, yeah. So Joser's planning on being incredibly dramatic and doing oratory.
Yeah.
Does that mean Alpheus would still want to do something, or would he just leave it to Joser at that point?
Well, what's he gonna do? Like, he's gonna go and just tell all the people what
reveal
needs to be
himself
done?
as a god and just be like, do what I say, sort of a thing.
Okay, so I don't need. Yeah, I don't know if that's my responsibility.
Yeah, it sounded like Joser wanted to take on that responsibility himself, so that makes sense.
Well, maybe I satisfied my third belief already, right?
I believe so.
Or no?
Let me check it. Yep.
Okay.
That's finished. Yeah, this is the thing we need to figure out. I have plenty of ideas with Joser and Avra. I just want to make sure we have Alpheus and Maya things to do this session too. Or at least things you could help with, right? So, I mean, you could...
What's like the main goal of this session?
The main goal of this session, I think, is to wrap up any loose ends that have to happen here in Nima and try to get going to Sinia.
We're not going to get there, though. We're going to be on the way.
Yeah,
okay.
I don't think so. Loose ends would... Well, I mean, Joser could make like a crazy faith roll to instantly transport you or whatever. He could
That'd be cool.
Try to sound like that. But loose ends include warning the people of Nima that this is coming. I know there was like... Irida prophecy things that Joser wanted to talk with Avra about, and he wanted to like talk to Ben about being a king. Like there's like preparation things for what's going to happen in Sinia that can happen. In terms of like Alpheus and Maya specific things, the one thing that immediately comes to mind is I know Avra has a belief about bringing up both. Let me look at her beliefs. She has. I believe Keladon and I are to play some role in Sinia's new government. I will make sure my status as closest legitimate relationship to Thestios is considered in discussions about Ben's kingship. And then she also has, I believe Alpheus's actions had deadly consequences. I will determine whether the matter needs further investigation. So I know Avra cares right now about figuring out, like, wait a second, who's Ben? Like, I thought we were supposed to be in charge of Sinia when this is all over. And then also, Alpheus killed my father. I think I still care about this. So if Alpheus wants to make a belief kind of proactively about what he would do in that sort of situation, like if Avra confronts him about this, what he's going to try to do, we could do that.
Can I say, like, I sense forgot her name.
Avra?
Maya.
Oh, Maya.
Like, I sense Maya still doesn't trust me. Like, I'll talk to her or something.
I mean, it didn't sound like Maya had any reservations per se about you at this point. You made a crazy good roll, so.
Yeah, no, she just had a grudge. Avra is the one who probably doesn't.
Oh, that's what I was thinking you were talking about Maya a second ago.
No. I'm talking about Avra. I'm talking about Carly's character.
So yeah. Avra doesn't trust me. No.
Yes. Avra needs assurances about various things, including, like, I thought we were supposed to be in charge. What's up with this Ben guy? And then also, Alpheus, you killed my dad. Like, so is there something there that you would like? We could make a general belief about Alpheus trying to wrap up those loose ends and something along the lines of making sure that like everyone here trusts me and we're all on board with the plan, sort of a thing, right?
How did Alpheus meet Avra? I don't remember.
You had a very awkward. So Malekith set you up a meeting. Set up a meeting with Avra, and you were trying to like get her help for something. I can't remember what was the first thing you asked her about.
But I killed her dad because her dad killed my dad.
No. Well, yes, because you thought Thestios was responsible for your father's death. Yes,
but he wasn't.
He ended up not being. Yeah.
Oh, so I'm sorry about that.
It was Titan.
I forgot. Now I hate Titan even more.
Yeah, Titan's.
Where is he at? Isn't he supposed to be chasing us?
I'm just
did
quickly
figure out.
changing all Joseph's to beliefs to I will find the Titan, I will kill Titan.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I did figure out where he went, and he ended up not following you guys.
So I don't have to have a. Can I
He
still
went to
have a
Sinia
general
and was
belief
killed
about
when the
hating
Dar
him?
attacks.
Say again, Alpheus.
Can I still have a general belief about hating him and wanting him dead? Or
Sure, yeah,
not?
I mean,
no, because it doesn't apply.
I mean, you
today.
could, and you could like do some way. You just have to figure out some way you could like start preparing for that. Like getting someone on your side who would also try to kill Titan is one way to do that.
Well, my
yeah.
grandpa, right? My grandpa should hate
That's
him.
true. Yeah. I mean, Alyssa just pointed to herself too. You could get Maya on board with Revenge Against Titan plan, right?
Yeah, you could also ask Joseph for like specific location of where he is.
That's true. Yeah,
he does that pretty easy. So
yeah. I would just make like a general belief about wanting Titan dead, and
like
maybe
I want
action.
revenge. I'm just gonna say I want revenge against him and kill him.
I want Revenge Against Titan.
And see him dead.
Yeah. Do you have like a specific actionable step this session that you want to work on for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to. I keep forgetting people's names. What's my grandpa's name?
Spiridon.
He's obviously my first choice.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't tell him that before.
Yeah, I mean, how about we write, just in case like that fails, how about we write the second part as like, I will gather allies against Titan, right? Because then it doesn't matter who you get on your side. It's like, as long as one person gets on your side, then you worked on it, sort of thing.
Yeah, because I'm not a fighter.
Yeah. You need some people to help you.
But I still don't know I don't know what I'm going to be doing this session. So I don't know.
Yeah. We probably should find something like more like active that Alpheus can do this session based on what's happening. So I know Avra has her beliefs squared away and she wants to do like Irida stuff with Joser and then try to confront you and Maya about her place in the kingdom because of your plans that you guys apparently have now, right? So you can make a belief about that if you'd like. But if you want something more specific, like or more active, right? Like you're working on something that you actually care about. I mean, you could always just write a belief about like, well, no, I guess you already your first belief is already kind of about that situation, right? Your belief is caring about Ben and making him king.
So I feel like so Joser's going to be the one to get the people to be prepared to fight the Titans or the rock golems.
Yeah.
And then, but what about getting the soldiers to still come with us to Sinia? He's going to do that too.
Yeah. Was that your plan, Joser, is like do it in such a way that the guy's not going to bail on you to stay around and protect the city?
Yeah.
Maybe they all come with us. Maybe they just abandon Nima because he convinces them that Sinia is the stronghold.
That would be one way of doing it. Joser could be like, the end is near, the apocalypse has come, everyone to Eden, right?
Hey guy, I hear you're really into like spiritual stuff. Hi, I'm spiritual.
Oh yeah,
hello.
That's true.
Very
That's true.
spiritual.
Yeah.
Shake hands. I don't have a handshaker, but I will shake your hand.
And we can always leave this blank if we need to.
Yeah, I don't know I just don't know enough about what we're going to be doing to think like of something specific.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like I'd want to be involved in planning, like what we're going to do once we get to Sinia. Like, how do we take it back? But I don't know that that's not going to happen in this session.
Probably not. I mean, there could be some sort of preparatory role for that. It depends on what you want to work towards in that sense. Are you just talking about like, setting up the government of Sinia again, sort of a thing?
Well, I mean, like talking to Spiridon about what we're going to do. Like, how is this going to work? How are we going to succeed?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I don't know what role that would be.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, that sounds like Spiridon's just making like a strategy role.
Yeah, it's just him.
Right. unless like Alpheus has, like the thing I could think of is if Alpheus has a particular ambition about the situation beyond what he already has on his beliefs, a way he wants it to go down, he could convince Spiridon of like going after a particular strategy, right?
Well, how about something like this? So like Avra or Maya wants like a position in the government, right? Is that not what you were saying?
Avra
does. I feel like Alpheus would. Like, because he obviously thinks he's like good at politics.
So do you want to like basically just like your next like belief path is going to be like ensuring that you come out on top?
Yeah, but not for like selfish, like just I guess that goes back to Ben again though. Like it would just be related.
That's a different
to
thing. That's a different thing. I mean, your belief there is keep him safe and establish him as king. You can do that and sacrifice yourself, right? But if you think you should be in charge in some way by the end of this for the good of the city or for Sinia or whatever, right? That's fine too, and that seems like a separate thing. That makes sense though. That seems like a good path for Alpheus to take now. It seems like something he would care about, and then there can be various steps along that route, right?
So can I just say like I will do my best. I don't know what a specific thing would be, but like I want to have an established position where I can help Sinia and help lead Sinia.
You could, I mean, the actionable steps I could think of this time is talking to any of the characters present here. Spiridon, Keladon, Joser, Maya, Avra, any of those could be relevant to this. It's just or Ben, whoever you want to convince of something, right? You can make it vague and be like, I will, you could probably write it in such a way that it doesn't matter who you talk to. I will work to gather allies again for this one, right?
Okay. All right. I'm good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so those are your beliefs. What are your instincts? Just read those off real quick.
Always try to talk my way out of trouble. Always treat others of the lower classes with respect. Always ensure that those I trust are lifted up. And my traits are cramped hands. Though I don't know if I still have that, but
yeah, cramped hands was from your time of being a scribe or whatever it was. You were a clerk for a while. Yeah.
Pragmatic, impulsive, catalyst, stubborn, driven, handshaker.
Yep. There you go. All right, Joser.
That's me.
What you got?
I've been marked by my divine station and must live up to the charge given me. So I'll make preparations for the Tartun's approach. My father's purposes are of greater import than my own safety. I will improve my instincts of anticipation. And my light must be increased if I am to pierce the coming darkness, so I will work with Avra to make a concrete step.
To increase your light. Very good. Cool.
Although probably up concrete. I don't know that we have that technology.
Solid.
Although apparently Roman concrete was more... Anyway, that's an aside. Instincts always pray before addressing others. If Thalia is addressed negatively, then I ready my knife. And if I see wounds, I mend them.
Very good. I won't make you read your giant list of traits if you don't want to.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah. He's weird and magical and a god. All right, Maya. You have some ideas here.
I have two beliefs, but I need help with the two others I have. So first one is I'll do whatever it takes to elevate my son to the place of prophet king. I will smooth things over with Avra and Keladon. Two, I will learn about the gods and fill in the missing pieces. I will learn more about Nes Anhur.
Nes Anhur, yeah.
Anhur. I'm not sure on a third belief, to be honest. I mean, I feel like I should do something to help behind the scenes, but I feel like that's what she would do with trying to figure out where Nes Anhur is.
That makes sense.
She wants to like protect him, especially now that she knows that war is raging against the gods.
Yeah. The gods are at risk and demons are attacking. Yeah, lots of stuff there. You could easily make a belief helping another character with their things, right? If
I'm trying to
think who that would be exactly.
Does Ben have any goals? I could help Ben with something.
I don't know if I did. I think he has at least one belief. Oh, he has 3. His beliefs that I probably haven't changed in a while, we'll see if they're still relevant, are Titan is a dangerous man who must be stopped one way or another. I will help Alpheus defeat him. I believe that everyone deserves kindness. I will help Knossos escape his fate. I'm destined to become the king of Sinia. I will work to make myself more regal. Probably only that last one is still relevant. So I
was thinking maybe some kind of like instruction role towards Ben.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Help him learn something.
Yeah, help him become I mean, I feel like that's what a lot of the characters are going to be doing.
Yeah.
Is helping Ben become.
So
king,
that
right?
kind of goes with my first belief.
Yeah, you could.
How about this? Actually, how about hold on?
Make that third belief about Avron Caledon.
So, my third belief is I want a relationship
with my sister.
And then I'll switch that over. I'll copy over. I will smooth things over with Avra and Caledon, and then I'll change that first to I will
teach him something about kingship.
I don't even know if I would do something about kingship. What would I tell him? How to be persuasive, I guess.
Oh yeah, sure.
Teach him
how to be charismatic.
Okay, how
something
to
along those lines.
be charismatic.
And then I'm not sure there's a way to help your husband stay safe beyond doing what you're already doing.
Unless I help, like,
maybe helping Joser with something, but I'm not sure what that would be.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this a little bit at the end of last session about me, like, basically. Okay, I've got it. I think.
Okay.
Let me. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna write it down.
Okay. Yeah.
Hold on. I don't know that this necessarily needs to be a secret goal, but.
Just working out the.
Gosh dang it! Why can't I spell his name? Convince Joser.
Yeah, there's a D.
Oh my gosh! Why does there? Oh, okay. Yeah, I did it. Okay. Okay, so I guess this is a question for you, Josh. Do I need to convince you at all that my husband is more important than me?
Oh, right. I forgot about this whole thing.
More important than you, how?
In every regard. I guess to like,
yes.
I guess if Maya, yes, I would have to. Okay. Then that's my goal. I will convince Joser that my husband is more important to this mission.
Sounds good.
To the success of this mission.
Yeah.
Is that something? Is that specific? Is that too specific to where I wouldn't need to convince you, or?
No, I can see that how that would be.
Yeah. To the salvation of the world, right? Like, who's more important? It's
my god husband.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
And then my instincts are: I will always put my family first, no matter what. Never back down from a challenge. Always be helping from behind the scenes. Traits: colorful, religious, ambitious, thick skin, marker privilege, bastard, loyal, power behind the throne, glib, familiar face.
There you
go.
All right, Avra. What are your beliefs and instincts?
All right.
I was so proud of Carly. She wrote these at the end of last session. It's amazing.
Yeah. I believe that with the help of the Iridite and Ophelia, I can stop what is coming. I will consult them with Joster to discover our next step. I believe Celadon and I are to play some role in Sinia's new government. I will make sure my status as closest legitimate relation to Thestios is considered in discussions about Ben's kingship. I believe Alpheus's actions had deadly consequences. I will determine whether the matter needs further investigation. And then my inactive one, I don't know if that's important to.
Yeah, I don't think it's important right now. So.
Then instincts. If I have a task beyond my specialty, then I seek the advice of someone more competent. If I have a question, then I will consult answers from the Irida. If I don't know someone's intentions, I will not reveal my secrets.
Cool.
Traits, your grace, formalist, religious, competitive, careful. And my die traits, fruity talk, market privilege, dreamer, practice precision, and affinity for birds.
And you're also driven.
Pollen traits are driven.
Yep. Very good. Okay, so now that all that's out of the way, where do we want to begin? Does Joseph just go up on a cloud and talk to the city? What do we think that would be based on everybody's beliefs right now, what's the actual first thing that happens? I'm down with starting wherever.
I mean, maybe Abra talks to Joser about the whole thing with Ophelia.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah.
I think we need to figure out how to contact her somehow because she's actually going to help us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's a great place to start. Yeah. And I already have an idea for that. So.
Okay.
Yeah. How do you broach that then? You just say that basically to Joser?
Yeah. She probably kind of approaches him nervously because she's still like unsure how reverent she needs to be, but she's like erring on the side of more reverent.
Yeah. Yeah, like Joseph's looking over the map and then kind of looks up at you. More like curious than anything on his face. Like there isn't any you see a complete lack of almost notice of whether you're different than him or not in kind of power level. He just doesn't care.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, he like almost like does like the semi bow of like acknowledgement of yes, princess, hello, instead of as if he was like of a lower like middle class instead.
Yeah, so he shows you reverence.
She like blushes at that. Yeah, and she just says like, since you're apparently the one who wrote the Irida, I imagine you know more about it than I do. But I had a strange vision that I feel might help us, but I'm also unsure.
Yeah, and you see like a mix of emotions flash over Joseph's face. Like there's a hint of like curiosity, and then like a very swift glimmer of very like probably like the darkest, almost like anger that anyone's seen on his face, and then he kind of shakes it clear and nods slightly and says, "Yes, I saw that as well. It will be curious to know the exact details, but it is true." I wish Alokos was here. I would have asked him a few questions.
I'm confused.
Did he at least serve you well?
I don't think we're talking about the same thing. I'm confused.
We are. Avra would be legitimately confused by this statement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think she would just say, "Oh, I don't think we're talking about the same thing. What are you referring to?"
Your bird. He served you well?
Yes.
He did well then. Should retrieve him at some stage. It may take the... Yes. Yes, I mean, I don't know. We could try and get in contact with her, but it is different. I'm not sure if I can do the same thing that I have done for getting in contact with Malekith.
Yeah, I mean, I
could
can
try.
definitely see like an astrology role here to like at least know what the direction is to do that, right?
Mhm.
Like,
yep.
And then I mean that sounds like Joster's maybe making the role, and then Avra could help him, right?
Right.
Yeah. I think Joster like blinks for a second and looks down at the Irida, and then he smiles, and then we get a Spaceball scene where he's flicking through the Irida, and it gets to the point. Oh no, that's too far. That's in the future. It's like, and then he like flicks back a few pages, and there's like some poetic language that sounds exactly like, yes, Joster and Avra look through the Irida. Let's see if we can find exactly how to get in contact with her.
Yeah, so I'm thinking astrology, and this, I mean, depends on what specific answer you want. You can do the like auspices, or you can do the answer a question. One will be more clear than the other.
Yeah, it'd be the answer a question, I think. Actually, where's my book? Yeah, do the full one, and then I will make a quick thing.
Did you have to get that book internationally shipped?
I don't know. Probably.
I
can't remember.
I just know that I've seen people on like the Burning Wheel Discord like lament about prices for Europe having to get the book. So I'm just curious.
I'll find that. Anyway, can we do Irida roll for it, or would you prefer just straight my regular astrology?
Irida roll being
forking and read and stuff.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, the Irida's here, and it's obviously very much involved in all the prophecy stuff that's going on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I assume I'd be helping with like doctrine.
Yeah, either doctrine or heraldry. Yep. Or read. I mean, any of those. Whatever one you would need an Ob 4 test in.
I don't know how to tell that.
What are all of those skills at? I'll look at it myself, but
I believe my doctrine is highest.
Yeah, you could use one in doctrine. You don't need one in heraldry. You could also use one in read.
Okay, I might as well do doctrine. I feel like that's the more important one.
Yeah, so 1 dice for doctrine, and then you'll get to mark a difficult test for this, Abra.
Yep. And I believe Thalia can help with obscure history.
Yeah. Certainly.
So I'll do my usual doctrine, symbology. In fact, actually, can I make my anticipation wise a linked test?
Yes, that makes sense. Ob 2.
Mm-hmm. And I'll put my histories in that instead.
Okay.
So just 2 helps on that. And no other. And so 2.
There you go. So no extra dice unless you want to spend a fate.
No, that's all good. It achieved what I wanted it to.
A test.
A test.
Yep.
I now have anticipation wise of 4. So.
Nice.
So 1, 2, 3, and then read, and then 1 from you, and 1 for So I'll spend
3 6s.
Yeah, I'll spend. Hang on, let's see how much fate I've got before I start committing to pay to it. Yeah, I'll spend a couple of fate on it. Why not?
Okay. Reroll 4 dice. If you don't make this, oof.
Yeah. Raining of 1 dice. 4.
4. Ooh, there you go. Nice job. Yeah, so Joser, you know the answer is there's a certain entity out there, still alive, still kicking, that, managed to escape Ophelia's death without being ripped back themselves. And if you make a faith roll of some sort, you could summon them to you.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. What kind of faith roll?
I'm thinking like a minor miracle, maybe, unless there's like something else that like seems more specifically relevant to this sort of situation.
Mm-hmm. I'm not really plucking it from danger or anything, so I think it's just
exactly.
minor miracle.
That seems like the most relevant thing to me.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I shall do a minor miracle.
So yeah, for you, it's
I'm not going to do help.
Actually, for you, it's up 5, because it's against.
It's not against him.
Yeah.
Do I put any persona in this?
Depends. I'm not entirely sure what failure means moving forward, so please succeed this.
Okay. I'll put 1 in it.
I was going to say, you're trying to get Artha and Faith anyway, so.
Yeah. Actually, no, I'll put it 2. I don't think I need any more persona and faith, but why not? 2. Base obstacle is 5. Yeah.
Woof. That's a high roll. Would you like to tell us what happens here, Joser?
Mm-hmm.
Was it like?
Yeah. So Joser reads through the Irida pretty quickly. Points out a few words to you. And then then he points out a specific phrase to you, Avra, and you probably would understand what it is. And it says they call upon the traitor, the slayer of Alikos. And he taps it a couple of times and frowns, and you see the same dark look that he had earlier there. And he says, I guess it is time. May the traitor return. And he bows his head and he says, come to your judgment, Skion. And he just reaches out his hand and grabs it the middle of nowhere, and the black raven appears in his hand and he's clutching it.
And it's flailing and
talk to this bird.
And it's screeching and you're hearing this Avra obviously as actual speech. And I think you are too, Joser, for reasons that we know, right? And it says, I am not ready. I am not ready.
I think Joseph does the chicken thing where he just like plugs it down the table and like draws a line from its beak forward. And for some reason it works because of reasons we know. It's like, here he is.
Are you going to kill me?
Joseph looks down at the book. Doesn't appear so.
Then what do you want?
Need to get in contact with your mistress.
She's dead.
So are many people. Hasn't stopped us before.
He seems to twitch. And did you like let go of him? Is that, or are you like still holding? Okay, so he's just like standing on the table basically. And he kind of like hops nervously in one direction and then flaps his wings once and then just says, "Why? Why should I help you?" And he's like talking to Joser, Avra, very intently on Joser, and maybe you don't understand like why this interaction is happening exactly.
Oh no. Really? Your fondness for her is the thing that made you betray me. Surely you've got some form of fondness that would allow you to seek her out again.
I betrayed you because you were losing.
And I think Joseph like looks at him like curiously. It's like, that seems a strange observance.
The Kalahim think they can see the future, but they can't. No one can. Not perfectly. You messed up somewhere, Hagiel. You made a mistake. And he's like, he's intentionally not using the like titles of address he should give you, right? He's just saying Hagiel.
Okay. Yay.
Yeah. So I think there does need to be like a roll by one or both of you to like convince him to help you, right? You've magically summoned him to your side, but yeah, I think there's still a step there to like convince him that this needs to happen.
Let me see Avra for a second. Because
because Avra could do that too. Avra could try to convince him.
What I could do to convince him.
Easier first step is just to look at your skills and see what you have even to use.
Yeah.
Oof, I forgot. Avra has a 3 in health. That's terrible.
Oh yeah, we kind of like narratively nixed the whole like I'm gravely ill all the time thing, but I think it's still
I think it's like the weird Irida stuff and madness and dreams and stuff kind of like made that less relevant, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could just do your like soothing platitudes, Avra, right? You just be like, let's try to calm him down and make him less irate and just work with you.
I'm also happy to attempt to persuade it.
Yeah, I think she, because of the vision she had, I think she's just going to say, like, if you still care to serve your mistress, even in her death, then you would like to know that her goals were never realized and what she truly wanted became corrupted. And you have the chance to get us in contact with her to help her realize what she actually wanted.
Yeah, that sounds like a soothing platitudes roll. Specifically because he's so irate right now.
Yeah.
I think Thalia will help you in this role, and Thalia will say, "Don't you find it galling that currently Alikos is closer to her than you?"
He bites the air. Yeah, cool. I'm trying to think of what the ob would be here. Joser, you have Spirit Familiar as a trait, right?
I do, yes.
What does that say again? It has like stats listed for like a Spirit Familiar, which is usually what I've been using for any sort of magical companion like this.
Will is great.
G2. Okay, so we'll make it ob 4 then, because of the gray shade difference. Yeah, so ob 4 Avra for Soothing Platitudes, and you can get a help from Thalia. You could try to fork in something if you'd like, but I don't know if there's anything necessarily.
I assume I can't fork in falconry with him.
I don't think so. It didn't sound like you were interacting with him as a bird at all, right? No. You could probably fork in oratory though. I mean, there wasn't. You were being flowery and speech crafty, at least a little bit, with what you said.
What about doctrine? Like, because I'm specifically talking about my.
Your vision.
Yeah, like I know something about her that
sure.
He's not.
I don't know.
To.
Yeah, I don't think it's a fork, but I'll give you an advantage dice just in general for that, like knowledge you have and stuff. Yeah, that should be 3 dice for advantages and helps then.
Yeah.
4.
Nice.
There you go. You can mark that routine test. Need some of those. Cool. Yeah. So he seems to calm down. And I'm imagining that like Alpheus and Maya and the rest of the crew are just like watching in like confusion at this whole debacle. But the bird
just talking to an walking raven.
Yeah, and Joser like summoned it out of midair with a prayer, right? Yeah. And Skion eventually says, so she's in Tartuit and the dead gods betrayed her. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Yes. Well, mainly just darkness. The dead gods may have also been betrayed.
Yes. Cyrillus
Who knows? Perhaps you will be able to achieve what she wanted all along and bring them back. They may be in need of redemption themselves.
So what do you want me to do exactly then? Granted, this does not mean I am serving you again, Hagiel.
This is not my place to judge. That will come when the Father comes.
Yeah. So his question still hangs in the air. He asks, like, what do you want from me? Specifically.
We need to be in contact with Ophelia. We need an avenue of communication.
You're telling me to go to fly to Tartuit?
If that is how you think communication will best work. You know better than we do the channels by which they communicate.
I still feel the bond, slightly. There is something there. I believe you. She is not destroyed. which means I think it might work. A raven would likely be able to pass on the other side without too much difficulty. What do you need me to tell her exactly?
I think Joser initially looks at Avra.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember like the actual contents of the vision.
Yeah, it was sort of vague. Like,
what I got from.
Mm-hmm. You just the main thing you know about this is like the Irida has told you that there's like a connection between the two of you, and you need to work together to like save the world. Is the idea?
Right. Yeah, I think she'd probably just say something like tell her that her sister desires an audience with her.
He looks at you. And how is this audience to be granted exactly? Am I just going to fly back and forth between every sentence of this conversation?
I don't know how this is going to work.
He's mainly just being snarky with you, right? Like,
yeah.
I have an idea, but it can't be up to you, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
Joser is also the god of agriculture.
Mm-hmm.
And we've established that there are mind-altering black orchids that semi put you in the dark mind state from the light side. Is it possible that Hagiel may have some form that does the other, that puts you in the light mind state from the dark
because
side?
that's so cool. Yeah, so let's talk very briefly about this in terms of cosmology stuff. There are two ways in this world that we know of up to this point to access magic and / other weird, like faith and enchanting and other stuff like that. It's either voiding your mind, right? It's nothingness, or it's madness, right? It's death or madness. I think though Joser has a third way, right? It's the way that isn't evil, the way that isn't inherently corrupted, right, by this world and the way that it's degenerated since the father's left. My guess would be it's a stability of mind, right? It's like having fortitude of mind, control over your emotions in a way that isn't like emptying it, but rather like knowing and controlling. Do you have anything to add maybe to that, to what that would be like, Joser? Like what it would do to someone? Because I think the idea here would be like that's the original way that that magic should be accessed on this planet, is whatever this good third way is. But it's since devolved into death or madness as the only routes to power.
Yeah, I think it's something more akin to like the biblical idea of meditating on His word day and night, where it's like you're focusing on something and processing something.
Yeah.
Actual like not Buddhist meditation, right? It's not emptying your mind, but it's like focused meditation on a idea or concept or whatever. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. Does it matter particularly what kind of planet it is, or do you have a thought there, or do we need to know it all?
Give me a second.
Because I think the black orchids have been involved. I think the idea is that black orchids are the death, cannibalism is the madness. I think black orchids can be used for both. I think we've decided. It's like the way that you use the black orchid is whether or not it's death or madness. Because I'm pretty sure that like Cyrillus used black orchids to like heighten the cannibal madness or whatever when he did his thing. But anyway, a white orchid.
I think lilies.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of special magical lily.
Yeah. Like from Matthew of like consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil nor spin.
Consider the lilies of the field. Yeah, there we go. That line right there is all we need for this whole thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Because that's what you're considering. You're considering the lilies of the field, and that's
I think it's like a white lily with just the faintest tinge of gold around the edge.
Yeah, yeah. Where do these grow? I don't think they're very common, right?
No.
I think they definitely grow in Ben
like
Sadet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's probably if he has them, it's probably like he brought them from like the fields of the priests in Setkus. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that seems like a roll then. Based on like the power this thing should have. I feel like there needs to be a roll of some sort to have brought them, have acquired them, something along this. I mean, astrology could be used here or faith, but do you have like a more like herbalism sort of thing by chance?
I do have
apothecary.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What does apothecary do exactly again? I think that might be like specifically like applying poultices. Let me see. Apothecaries use herbs, roots, minerals, and animalia to cure and prevent common and chronic ailments. That's probably fine. It would probably be a little bit of a high ob. Maybe ob 5. But if you have some forks.
Let's see. So it'd be apothecary. I will. What's it called? I'll faith to try and give myself extra dice.
Okay. Are you gonna go for the multiple dice option?
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. So that's 3 extra dice.
Very nice. You can open it too.
Why not? Yeah.
This would have been something that happened in the past anyway, so it's not like you're wasting a bunch of time praying here. So.
See if I get my obstacle one. Whew. Close to not, but
yeah, you got
as close as I can get to not.
5 ones. Yeah, that was a bad roll.
Yeah. So it's apothecary. 3 helps. I'll get 1 from Thalia. Because she has like herbalism or foraging, one of those 2.
Perfect.
Herbalism, because she hasn't got a challenging in herbalism yet. Anticipation wise for me.
Having anticipated this situation.
Yeah, astrology, of course. That seems fitting.
Probably it.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, up 5.
That makes sense.
And this wouldn't be like you have a whole bunch of them, but you have a couple that you could use for something like this. This is mainly the role of like, do they exist and do you have access to them?
Yeah. So boys of 5.
Oof. We got 1 6. Oh, I guess I automatically opened it already. Yeah, you could 1 in 12 chance it with a fate, I suppose. Whoa, you did it. That's wild. You're muted if you're trying to say something, Josh.
Yeah, I put in the wrong, but that's fine. It's worked.
Yeah, that's what you need.
That's crazy.
Yeah, good job. Okay, yeah, so I think you have enough to like facilitate this thing. If something like goes wrong in the future, maybe if like Ophelia is given one of these and something goes wrong on her end and she like one gets destroyed or something, then you might have to like make another roll to like acquire more or something. But at the very least, like right now, you have what you need to like facilitate your plan here, which is to give Ophelia some of these white lilies and basically have her like clear her mind of the corruption, focus on, you know, like the proper meditation, and then be able to do what exactly? What's the? Do you have an idea of what you would want Ophelia to do? Like have Skion tell her?
I think he essentially wants to turn what's his name? Turn Skion into like one of our scarabs, like a spirit familiar for Ophelia. So then he can set up like the thing that I did end of last session with Malekith.
Right. So you don't have to send him back and forth anymore and can just,
he can like just
talk.
talk.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Because basically Ophelia had a connection to Skion. It's still kind of there, but it's like this corrupted connection. Not only corrupted in the discordic sense, but also like weak and corrupted because of her death. So yeah, this would be her like getting that link back and it being a good link instead of like a weird bad link. Okay, yeah, sounds good. Cool. Is that you down with that, Avra? If Joser lays that out to you, basically, like give Ophelia something that will allow her to reopen her link with Skion, and then Skion can come back, and you can just talk to Ophelia through Skion at that point. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that happens then is just Skion flies away, right? Because you've already convinced him of this with the soothing platitudes roll, right? You've calmed him down. He cares about Ophelia. He wants to help her. So I think he takes, like Joser, I assume, hands him some of the lilies, right?
Says, I'm sure you're familiar with these.
Yeah, he seems...
and he fishes out a couple from his little medicine surgical pack.
Yeah. It seems distasteful to him, but he snatches them up in his beak and flies off. And this will be a fun like parallel because, you know, Skion came and gave Avra the black orchids right on her windowsill, and now Skion's gonna go give Ophelia some white lilies. Sounds great. Yeah, well, I have some ideas for what like Ophelia's doing, and when I get a chance, I'm gonna do another session by myself where I can do some rolls for her and Cyrillus and everybody else. So we can follow up with that later. Of course, Chad steps away right when I was going to be like, hey, and let's go to Maya and chat, or Maya and Alpheus and do some stuff. What's your stuff, Maya? What's going on with you right now?
Well, I have a couple different avenues that I could do. I'm feeling I'd probably want to wait for Chad to talk with Avra and Caledon because I think our beliefs are similar with that.
Yeah, that should all just kind of happen at the same time.
I could talk to Ben. I could talk to Joser. One of those two.
I think probably based on the situation that's happening right now, I feel like it makes more sense for Maya to go up to Joser and ask about some stuff. Because if there's some time later for you to like be alone with Ben or something, that makes more sense to work on your thing, as opposed to everybody's in this apartment right now and there's like a bunch of stuff going on, and Maya's probably just like, how can I help? Right? Like, sort of thing.
Yeah. I mean, she would probably want to. I mean, she wouldn't say this in front of Ben though. It's the only thing.
Oh, that's funny. I was actually thinking about the Nethan Hur thing when you mentioned this, not the convinced because I think you're right. Yeah, you probably wouldn't want to talk about the Malekith stuff in front of Ben. But I was thinking maybe you would go up to Joser and be like, okay, so bad things are happening. What about Nethan Hur? Right? That might be a fun way to go from here.
I was thinking specifically about like trying to circles up somebody that might know the man.
Yeah, so as a reminder, Nethan Hur is actually a woman.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay. That might know her. Or because I have my power behind the throne, religious for circles. So I don't know if this is, I mean, I think, I should probably go up to Joser and be like, okay, I want to help. Like, I want to help try to keep you and Nethan Hur safe and Malekith safe. We need to find her. Because is it confirmed that she's like been reincarnated? Is that the thing?
No, she hasn't died yet. So Hopseth got killed, right? Yes. Nethan Hur is probably like the idea here is that she's probably going to be. I think the idea that, and Joseph would probably know this, is the idea that she is trying to juggle both aspects right now, right? Like that because her brother died and she's like got some of her power from that they switched back for her. So there's like a weird magic thing happening with her right now. And I think, Joser, you know that the plan is she has enough worshippers that if they kill her with the normal process, she'll just reincarnate. And so they have a plan to basically do a special version of the ritual that instantly incarnates her in a physical body, not just as a baby, but like in her temple probably, and that's when Beirut's going to be there with the magical weapon to stab her through, right? Just like a moment of she incarnates as a person enough that like someone can kill her like a mortal, as opposed to the normal process. They're kind of speeding up things at this point. And so the idea, so when Maya comes up and says this, you know that like their plan is probably going to be get her into a vulnerable state and then stab her through. So she's not currently like a person right now, but
he's going to keep track of that. And I think in the background, he's trying to make sure that he's aware that when that happens and is going to try and pluck her out of it. But
sure.
Well, is there a way, I guess Maya's question would be, is there a way to prevent that altogether and still keep her a god? You know, she's like, I don't know the answers to these questions, so I'm just throwing out ideas.
It is possible, but last time I tried it, it did not end so well.
Yeah, but that's because you tried it with your followers, not with their own.
Sure. That is true. It was more of an intervention than it was a assistance. We could try it.
Maybe I can gather some of her followers. I might know some people, and then can I like see if I maybe know
it makes
some followers?
Sense. Yeah, at the very least, we can make the circles test now, and then maybe like have the conversation with Alpheus and Maya and Avra and Keladon since Chad's back, and then follow up with the that makes sense though. Yeah.
Okay. Let me just see if I even know anybody.
So who do you need this person to be exactly?
I suppose I would need this person. I suppose I just need an in. Like, so first of all, are there actually followers here, or like where are her followers? Like what region? Is it here in Nima?
Okay. So more than anywhere else.
So it's not like just finding. It's not like finding some random follower is going to help us, right? Like because
this would be like, can you get in touch with like the high priest of Nethan Hur? Yeah.
Right. I don't necessarily need to know the high priest, but I probably need an in with the high priest. So someone just below the high priest who could get us an audience is
that makes sense.
What I'm going for.
Let's make that. I think that it will still be sort of difficult. It's going to be an ob 4, I think. But you can get help from other people who might have relevant circles. I think Joser as a god can probably help you with circles. Right?
I would hope so.
Yeah. He has the like born god life path in there somewhere. Yeah.
Okay.
I guess Jester just has
I'm just
religious life
debating if
paths, so.
I feel like I want to let's see, so if I have okay, so I actually want this to be a difficult test because then I upgrade my circles. So I guess I don't want any help die though, because I have
you could add I believe you could add one
already.
help die. Yeah, you could add one and it would still be difficult.
Yeah, you can bump one.
Okay.
Josor will provide that because that'll also bump my circles. So.
Nice.
Okay. Yay. So yeah, I'd like to do that. And then I'm gonna also throw a persona in there.
Okay.
Since I've got a bunch of those. So
yep.
You know what? I'm gonna pump 2 in. Why not? Why not? Why not? Let's go for it. I've got like 6 persona.
Mm-hmm.
Maya doesn't care about dying at this point.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So 1 advantage, 2 persona. Base of 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Needed every die.
I know a person. What do you know?
That's true. And you have 5 circles now, which is great. I
know. So good.
Yeah, so I think Josser and you can put your heads together and get in touch with the priests of Nessun who are here. Yeah, and we can probably do that scene after this one. But yeah, I'm thinking we probably have, like, I think Celadon is the one who brings it up, right? Like, Celadon's been, like, listening to all these conversations, and he just, like, says, I'm sorry, we'll get back to the god stuff. Can we just focus for a moment on the Ben Asher is king thing, because I am still kind of confused as to what we're doing right now. What is the plan? When did anyone decide that he was going to be the king of Sinia? I know I'm not usually the person to bring up stuff like this, but I'm just really confused.
Sorry you didn't get the email. Just kidding.
We forgot to CC you. Sorry.
We forgot to CC you.
If you'd got married sooner, there would be a debate, but you know.
This is why you don't delay getting married.
Yeah. Take that, Celadon.
So does Celadon know?
Kick all these down.
Like, everybody knows Maya's Avra's sister at this point.
At this point, yeah.
So what's the question? Like, obviously, if that's her son, do they not?
Yeah, but like the plan was for them to take over, and so he's just confused as to like, where are we going?
Right. He missed that little detail when Avra wrote him a letter saying, "Oh, by the way, I have another sister."
Yeah.
Maybe she didn't mention the age, whatever it is, like, but I just.
How's Averick jumping into this at all?
Yeah, who's he talking to? Just everybody?
Everyone. But he's like looking at Avra because he wants to hit the thing that Celadon is mainly worried about is what happens to Avra in this, because like she was going to be like the queen, like that was the whole plan. He's not as worried about himself. There's probably a part of Celadon that's like very relieved that someone else is just going to be king, for goodness sake, right? But like he cares about Avra's like position, so.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out like where Avra is mentally in this. Like, does she actually still care about being queen, or does she just want Sinia to be safe and
your belief states
all of this?
I believe Celadon and I are to play some role in Sinia's new government, right?
Yes. The thing is, she doesn't know if like she feels like she needs to be queen, or if it needs to be something else. Like, obviously she thinks that because of her bloodline, she should be involved somehow.
Yeah.
So that Celadon can be involved. Basically. And I'm still kind of trying to work that out of like how exactly she wouldn't, like, she would feel some innate right to like argue that she should still be queen, but like I don't know exactly how she feels about that still. And she doesn't want to just outright be like, No, I'm going to be queen. Also, have we been over the fact that Ben Asher's dad is also a god yet?
I don't. Yeah,
I don't think we've
it's been stated.
I don't think we've
really
explicitly
addressed.
said it,
Yeah.
but yeah.
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 Because I feel like that might be the linchpin for Abra to convince her, like, Ben Asher is the one that needs to be king. It's his rightful place. Is like he's literally like a demigod kind of a thing. Like he not only is related to Thestios by blood, even if distantly, and even if illegitimately, but he also like literally is the son of their god.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I mean, the question is then how does Abra bring
exactly
it up?
how. Yeah, I don't know how she would jump into the conversation exactly. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. I feel like Maya would just yell and be like, "Well, he's next in line." Like, what do you mean?
No, because I want a relationship with my sister, so she's going to handle this very delicately.
I think the reason that Joseph doesn't pay attention to any of this and doesn't weigh in is he like suddenly gets a bolt of realization on his face and like looks over to Thalia and like gestures her over and like takes her into the corner and says like, you realize these are your like great grandchildren, right?
I know. I'm still trying to process that.
Yeah, let's do that in the corner.
All right.
Yep.
I mean, I think like if Abra doesn't say anything, like I don't know, I guess Maya would kind of like go up to Avra. I don't know if she'd like reach for your hands or something like that, but she would like, you know, maybe like just like I don't know, like try to like, you know, do that awkward thing where she's like, you know, we're not close enough. I don't know how close you feel to me, you know, but like I want to be close to you, and she like wants to like, you know, reach out and like maybe touch your arm and just say, Avra, I'm sorry I didn't tell you earlier. I wasn't even sure if I wanted Ben to be king at all. But after Malekith told me everything about him being a god, which was a total shock to me, by the way, I just knew that our son was meant for this. And I think you know it deep down too, because you've read the Irida. I don't know. And she's just like kind of like, you know, like, please like say something. You know, like I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like that would convince her, but I feel like there still needs to be a rule there. Because Abra's not just automatically going to be like, oh yeah, for sure.
Oh, cool. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, I mean, I have a belief about it, so I want to make a roll.
Yeah. I think the role would just determine like how well she accepts it as truth. How easily, rather.
So Avra's will is 5. Would you think it would be any higher than that, Carly?
What?
Avra's will is 5. Do you think this roll will be any higher than that?
Probably not.
Okay.
So I guess maybe I would say like a couple other things like
yeah, gotta get those forks in.
Something along the lines of like because I'm assuming is this a persuasion roll or is this a soothing platitudes roll? Because you're not angry necessarily, but she's also like trying to come at this as like, you know, like I'm trying to repair this. Like I didn't.
It sounded like Maya was doing soothing platitudes, but I suppose it is up to whether or not Avra needs to be soothed, right?
Right. That's why I'm asking Carly.
Yeah, I think it's less like she needs to be soothed and more like she just needs to have she needs to have the situation like explained to her like how she did, I think it's still soothing platitudes because she's not doing a ton of extra work to persuade.
Well, so I was going to add some extra stuff. So maybe you can decide after I say everything, but she wants to add in things like, and, maybe this is good for both of us. Like, I don't want to, you're still part of the family. And like, it basically trying to say that, like, I'm not trying to like, take, I don't like, what's the right word I'm looking for? Like Maya would be saying this much better than me, but like
usurp your place.
Right, exactly. Right. Like I'm not trying to take, what's yours, just like, and maybe this is a good thing. Malekith told me that, Caledon didn't even really want to be the king. And, and she kind of like looks at him to like be like, did I get that right? And
yeah, Caledon gives you a look that says, I thought I knew what I wanted, but now that it's being snatched away from me, I'm not sure anymore. Right?
Sure. Yeah, so she's like, okay. So basically, yeah, she lays out the 3 points, right? That like, okay, like I'm not trying to like upstart you. I didn't even know it at first if I wanted him to be king, but after hearing the Irida, talking to Malekith, talking to Joser, who also believes this, knowing that my son is a demigod, and he's of Thestios' blood, I think it just makes the most sense. And so that's what she's gonna leave with. So I don't know. I guess you can decide whether that's still soothing platitudes or if you think that's more persuasion-y, but
yeah, actually that probably is persuasion. And then depending on how the conversation goes later, she might need a soothing platitudes. But yeah, I think that.
But if I fork it in, I guess I can't use it later though, right?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like it makes sense to do one roll for the general, like explaining, soothing, persuading.
Yeah.
Even if Avra needs additional explanation later, that doesn't mean that she has to make another roll.
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can still fork in soothing platitudes.
I think so.
Okay. Trying to think what else I can fork in here. I don't know. I didn't give like any like super ugly truth here. Especially since Joser cured her of her barrenness. I can't be like, you can't even have children. So
right. Would Alpheus step in at any point?
I don't know if anyone really knows that. Like I don't know. That.
I don't think it seems more like a family conversation.
Yeah, that's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
Like I obviously think at this point, like, well, I guess didn't I kind of decide with Avra and Caledon to do that?
Yeah. You're the one who pushed Caledon to become the king in the first place.
So I would probably butt in eventually if they're kind of if Maya's done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm done if you want to.
So Alpheus would.
I just wanted to give you a chance to give her some help dice if you wanted to. So
yeah, Alpheus would probably just say like, "Look, Caledon, I know I pushed for you to become king as well, but I've become convinced that Ben should be the next to sit on the throne for the same reasons Maya just explained to you." That's probably all he would say.
Okay.
Unless Caledon wants to talk to me about it.
No, I think that's fine. I mean, Caledon also has the same will as Avra, so I feel like at this point, since Alpheus was talking to Caledon, I think this is maybe Maya making a roll for both of them, right? Because, I mean, Caledon's, I don't think, if Avra's convinced, Caledon's certainly not going to press the point. So, but yeah, you can get 2 helping die from Alpheus then.
Cool. Let's see, Caleb, what do you think I can fork in here? I feel like soothing platitudes honestly might be it. Family wise, maybe.
Yeah, family wise makes sense. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you're not acting, you're not
lying.
doing drama wise, you're not lying. Yeah, I think it's just soothing platitudes and family wise.
Okay. All right.
And then 2 helps from Alpheus.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Thank you. See, look at us teaming up together. We found something in common. Who'd have thunk? I don't know if I want to use a persona on this.
What's the meme? I'm trying to remember what
What's
you
happening?
said. What did he
Look
say?
at us. Who would have thought?
Look at us. Yeah, who would have thought?
Oh, the Paul Rudd. Yeah, look at us.
Paul Rudd. Yeah, there you
go.
Yeah. I love him. He's my celebrity crush. Okay. All right. Do I want a persona in this? I don't know. If I. Okay, I'm just gonna go with my 4 help die. Face up 5. Let's do this. Oh yeah.
Nice job.
And I really gotta start making these persuasion tests more difficult for myself.
Yeah, to actually advance it.
Yeah.
Helping others.
Very good. Cool. Yeah. So how does Avra respond then? Caledon just seems like defeated.
Yeah. So I think she seems kind of the same way, but so like she's persuaded, but I think she just kind of asks like, will there be any place for us? Like, am I just booted out of my, like, I agree that he may be better suited for that role than I am. But like, basically, like, I've been a part of this family my entire life, and he's just stepping into that role out of nowhere. Like what happens to us, basically.
I mean, Maya doesn't real. I think maybe Maya says, well, personally, I think you deserve any position you'd like. I think you've more than deserved it, you and Caledon. But I guess I'll leave that to my son. With your blessing.
Yeah, and I think what I want Avra to do is make a roll herself now for Ben. Because I mean, I think I'm going to give you like some advantage dice. Like it'll be easier because of it seems like Maya's on board with this and stuff. But you have a belief towards this, and I think it makes sense if you want Avra and Caledon to have a good position, trusted position in Ben's new government. It makes sense to like make a roll against him and see how he's feeling about the whole thing too.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Just quickly, Caleb, did you put a bubble in Chad for that help, or is that currently not input?
It has not been inputted.
Then we have just seen a glorious moment. Chad, you got a difficult bubble for that, helping on that persuasion.
So does my persuasion go up?
It goes up to 8.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh.
Wow.
Let me persuade Avra next time. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, that's the great thing with help, right? Is that because you don't, it doesn't matter what you're forking in or what the other person's dice pool is. You just get a straight test versus the ob that it is. Help is a really great way to get the right tests you need to upgrade too. Yeah.
Sweet. Let's get it up to 9.
Yeah. Cool. So Alpheus just needs to convince Cyrillus to stop being an evil dictator. That'll be the ob 10 persuasion test you make or whatever. Yeah.
So
just walk up to him and be like, stop.
Get some help.
Get some help.
Stop it. Good idea. Taking notes.
Are there any biblical counselors around? We need them.
Cool. Yeah. So, what do you say, Avra? That would be the question. Caledon's going to help you either way, but.
I mean, I don't know if I have much to say other than what I already said. Basically just like, we deserve some place, don't we?
Like, do you have a particular idea of what that means? Because like I was imagining that Avram might say something like Caledon has worked too hard and knows too much. Like he's good at this. Like he deserves to help, right?
Yeah. I think she'd also add like, after all we've done to try to protect Sinia and take it back, yeah, like I don't want her to sound like super melodramatic about it, which is the tricky part, is like she could just be like, after all we've done, like we deserve more than just like retirement basically. But but I think at the same time she doesn't really know exactly what Keladin wants or what she wants. Like I think she would be satisfied to just like go back to being the head of the falconry club and like, but she just doesn't know what position Keladin would want. So I like if there's a way that he could help with this role, like she would just look to him probably for more. I think you're muted or something. Can't hear you.
Whoops, I was saying a bunch of things. Yeah, so I think that's what I was going to say is that Caledon I think is going to step forward. I think he'll say something here, and then you can drive it home with whatever point you want to make after he makes clear what he wants. I think there's a moment. I think it's a really important moment that we see across Caledon's face, where he's been this reluctant person his entire life to get involved. Because he doesn't want to be too close to things. And then the moment that he actually realizes he needs to step up and be a man about it and just like take charge, it gets ripped out of his hands, right? And we see all of this cross across his face, and he's so conflicted in this moment. And then we see probably the most like brave, honest, and true thing you've ever seen him do. He just steps forward, kneels like in like pledging allegiance sort of a thing to Ben, and just says, there's one thing that I want more than anything else, and that is to serve my city. That's all I want. I will, I'll be in charge of sewage management if that's what you want me to do. I just want to help. And
is he kneeling in front of Ben?
Yeah. Like he's pledging allegiance.
I think Alpheus does the same thing. Just kneels. Like doesn't say anything, but kneels.
Would there be a different etiquette thing for a woman to do for the king?
Yeah, I don't think you would be expected to kneel. That would be like for like noblemen and knights and that sort of thing. Yeah. So probably just like a demure like head bow. Like
yeah.
I want to like come behind Ben and like kind of like put my like armor like right like on his shoulder, like as like my own way of like being like, yes, this is like,
yeah. Were you gonna say anything, Alpheus, or just kneel?
Just kneel for now.
Okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say
because I want to see because Ben's obviously probably like, what the heck? Like I want to see what he says.
He says, "My friends, you bow to no one." No.
I think Maya would look down at him and say, "This is the first test of a good king. How do we treat our family?"
Yeah,
a good king needs good advisors.
And then,
I don't think Thalia says, "And the first queen bore the Irida."
Yep, we see a flash where we see Thalia dressed in like a royal gown, on like a wedding day, and then it flashes back to how she actually looks. Avra, what's the thing that you say to drive home the test here? Right, everyone is helping you, right?
I think she probably brings the Irida into it and says, like, I would love to be able to serve the kingdom with the insight that the Irida is giving me for as long as it chooses to do so. Like, and I would probably argue that this would be like a doctored fork. Like, the Irida chose me to some degree, like, because I'm related to Thestios and everything, and so, like, I do automatically kind of have some place.
Yeah.
Because of Sinia's religion.
That's a perfectly reasonable argument, I think. Okay, so I think this is an oratory roll for you, Avra, right? This is you, like, being like, this is what I'm asking from you as the king in a crowd in like a room full of people right now, right?
Yeah.
So oratory, you can fork in doctrine and etiquette because you made a point of like bowing, doing the thing you needed to do. Noble wise because he's a noble. And soothing platitudes, I think, is fine here as well.
Remind me what rule of law pertains to particularly.
Rule of law is like knowing the laws of the kingdom.
Okay.
So I don't know if it's an autumn. Well, yeah, I think it's fine. You could probably fork that in because I mean we've already established like you should have a place. Like you're
right because I'm arguing like I am technically the more legitimate relation, even if I'm not as worthy of the.
Yes, in terms of like legitimacy, yes, because Maya's a bastard. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In terms of like preferring a male heir, Ben is the person to go with, but like in terms of legitimacy, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you can fork all that in. I think Alpheus was helping with etiquette, right? With the kneeling. So you can get 2 dice from that. Keladon was helping with his own like oratory, so that's another 2 dice. And then Maya was helping with something. What did you want to help with, Maya?
I don't know. I was either thinking like child rearing or
it was child rearing.
Or family wise, one of the two.
I think child rearing makes sense here. You were like, there's the first test of a good king. That sounds like child rearing to me. Yeah. Okay. So that's 1 dice from Maya. And then Joser.
Thalia is helping with obscure history.
Yeah.
And
that's
then
1 die there.
That's 1 more.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 more, and then I'd happy to do. I'll probably go astrology. I'll help with astrology.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So
that's
another
oratory,
2 dice.
I think. Yep.
There's no reason this should fail right now.
All right, your ob is 6 because he's a child prodigy. But you have a boatload of dice, so you fail, and he's like, "I'm the king. What I say goes."
Oh man, that'd be crazy. That would be crazy.
Okay. That is probably the highest roll Avra's ever made.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's probably the most forks and help I've ever gotten on anything in Burning Wheel.
Yeah. That's a fun moment. So Avra, you can mark a routine test there for oratory, which you needed, so that was good. Cool. Yeah. So I think Ben honestly gets teared up. And he says, like, with like a frog in his throat, he says, "I am honored to receive your allegiance. Keladon, Keladon Avra, I would want nothing less than for my family to help me be a good king in whatever way you can." Yeah. Yeah, I think the implication there is like Celadon will be an advisor, right? Will be he'll honestly at the end of this get exactly what he always wanted, right?
Yeah.
Not actually being in charge of anything or responsible for anything in the way that like scared him or he felt he wasn't ready for, but he'll actually be able to do good, right? And it's only after he was willing to accept the responsibility that he was given what he actually wanted all along, right? And it was a good character arc moment, I think, for Celadon. And then Avra, yeah, I mean, certainly as long as you are the holder of the Irida, you'll have a place in the kingdom for sure. I think eventually the idea would be that you would train Ben in the ways of the Irida and pass on the Prophet King stuff for future generations. But yeah, cool. So where do we want to go from there? There's several places we could go, but
well, can I talk to Ben? Can I talk to Ben and and work on my second belief?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course, yeah. He's like, so, well, you got Celadon and Avra set up. What about your old pal Alpheus?
Right-hand man.
Your old pal Alpheus. And I think this is probably like the conversation has broken up. Like there was obviously like a dramatic moment that's happened, and then everyone's like, okay, now that that's settled, let's like break into pairings and like figure out what we're gonna do next, sort of thing. So like Maya and Joser keep talking about the Ness and Hur stuff. Avra and Celadon go out and talk about whatever they want to talk about, and then Alpheus can have a moment with Ben. I think that makes sense.
Yeah, because it would have been awkward if I did it while they were still doing all that.
Me too, please.
Can I just like piggyback onto that thing we just did there?
So I think Alpheus like walks up to Ben and just says, Ben, if I had a sword and could use it, you would have it.
Yeah, he chuckles and he says, I think you do have one, Alpheus. It's between your teeth.
And Alpheus laughs and he's like, yeah, that's about all I got. But to be honest, I want to help Sinia any way I can. And I know that I can help you in leadership, navigating some things politically. But also I hope that once this is all said and done, I can just relax a little bit, because the last 3 years of my life have just been insane.
So good.
But I still do want to help you, Ben. I want to serve you. Anything you need, I'm here for you. I don't need a title or anything. I just want to be there for you so that you can succeed as king.
Yeah, go ahead and make a persuasion roll. I have a really good idea of what he'll say if you succeed, and which you probably will. But so another op6 here. But I think I'll give you just a basic I'll just give you an automatic advantage die because of your relationship with him. I'm not sure there's a fork here except for maybe etiquette.
Yeah, because I knelt.
Yeah.
All right, let's just roll it.
Sounds good.
Face off 6. Watch me fail. Oh!
You have 2 6s. So you can spend one fate to do the 2 6s, or 2 fate to do the 2 6s and a failed dice. You have to decide.
I'll do that.
You also have
one of your many call-ons, yeah.
Oh, that's true. You have 2 call-ons for this, yeah.
Yeah, I know. So Ben was correct when he said my mouth.
Yep.
No, not driven. I'm just gonna use my fate.
Yeah, I think fate makes sense to start with.
I'm gonna use 2 fate points.
Yep.
So what do I type in? R/?
So there's actually a little button next to the
fate. Yeah. Remaining
so 1 and
dice
3. Yep.
Okay, sweet.
Only 1 success, but that is all you needed.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think Ben says, my father told me once about where you came from and a little bit about your family. How would you like, Alpheus, when this is all over? How about you just retire in Carusia? Run the town like your father did.
I think Alpheus would probably choke up and be like, yeah, I would like that.
Yeah. Well, Alpheus has to die now.
Yeah, you got to do it for drama, dude.
Way more tragic for him not to get his happy ending there. Yeah, after that moment, but we'll see. Okay, cool. So, yeah, no, that was great. So I know that before we end here, we should do Joser convinces the city on a cloud, right? thing, probably. But we have other stuff that we can get through, I guess. So, Avra, Carly, did you actually want to pursue your third belief at all? I believe Alpheus's actions have had deadly consequences. I will determine whether the matter needs further investigation.
Yes. I'm just
how do you want to go about doing that?
Go about it in the context of all the conversations we've been having.
Yeah. I mean, simple thing would be your instinct of ask the Irida.
Yeah. Yeah, I can do that.
That makes sense.
Try to figure out if I should really press it at all.
Yeah, exactly. And I think especially after the conversation we just had, that would be the only avenue Avra would take in the moment. Yeah, okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and do your doctrine stuff. What is it you roll? You roll doctrine and then fork in heraldry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so doctrine, fork in heraldry, and noble wise because it's about Alpheus, and he's technically, well, I guess he's not a noble.
I used to be, or something.
I mean, not a noble.
I was the bluest robe.
If it was government official wise, that's one thing. But like noble is like an actual class of people.
I was still poor.
Yeah, exactly. So let's see, heraldry, and then just read. I think, like normal. Would you want to get Joser in on this, or just doing this by yourself?
Good question.
Technically, Caledon can help you with his doctrine if you wanted to have him help you.
As much as I would like the help, I think this is something she's going to do on her own.
Private thing. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because it's more of like a, okay, should I like, is this just something within myself that I need to let go?
Mm-hmm. Okay, so do you want the Ob 3 nudge or Ob 4 direct answer to the question?
Probably the nudge.
Okay, you just need an inclination whether or not you should pursue it.
Yeah.
Okay. Op 3.
Nice.
There you go. I don't know. What do we think? What did the stars say? What does the Irida reveal to Avra? Should she pursue? I think probably the answer is no, given the scene we just got. Right? Is that Alpheus is a good person. He's trying to be a good person. There's no reason to hold him to that mistake he made in his past anymore. Right? He's done all he can do to redeem himself. Right? To ask any more of him at this point would be cruel. Yeah, I think that's what the Irida tells you. Like Alpheus himself didn't like realizes now he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Avra strong enough emotionally to just like accept that?
I think so, because I think she's definitely accepted that like there wasn't much else to do for her father at that point. So like while she thinks what he did was wrong, and it did kind of send Sinia into turmoil for a while.
Yeah.
Pretty much every decision I've made has made Sinia worse in the short term.
Yeah.
Yep.
But she's like, it did, like, he was becoming a problem, and like
while it wasn't necessarily just
sooner or later.
Just throw it on that chair.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Yeah, I think that's a good answer. Cool. I'm thinking maybe, are you guys down with just going a little bit longer than we usually do? Since
I'm fine with that.
Okay. I'm thinking maybe we do Joser and Maya pursue the Ness and Hur stuff, and then maybe Joser tries to convince the town to flee for your lives.
I think we can leave that one until next session.
Until next time. Okay.
Yeah. I don't actually have a belief for it. I have a belief for trying to slow him down.
Yep. That's fine with me. Yeah, so I think Joser and Maya just like show up
for next session though.
So hold up, before like on our way there, can I have a conversation with him?
Oh, right,
about,
of course,
like why I'm not important at all?
That's a perfect moment to do it. Yeah.
Excellent. Okay.
Here, I'm gonna let you guys talk that out briefly. I need to run and go to the bathroom real quick.
You do that, bro.
Yeah.
What are you guys gonna talk through?
So I have a belief that like basically my husband needs to stay safe. It's part of one of my character traits that I get an extra belief about Malekith. And so I have this like belief that like at this point I feel like I've done everything I can to establish my son as king. My son is going to be king. I don't think there's a place for me, not really, in leadership, because she's not a noble. I married a noble, but like, Maya just doesn't think of herself as like important. She really doesn't, at this point. Like she's been humbled so much by the fact that she's surrounded by two gods. Her son is a demigod, gonna be king. She's like, when she first found out that she was like Thestios' daughter, she's like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, like I have the blood of the king. Like I'm kind of a big deal. She didn't want to like go around throwing that, but now she's like, wow, I am so insignificant. It's ridiculous, And I don't know if she just comes out and like said, like she doesn't say it like that to Joser, of course, but I think as we're like walking Joser, like she will just say like, Joser, I do have something I want to discuss with you as we're walking, if you're okay with that.
Of course, Maya. It is a joy every time. I recently found out that you're my great granddaughter. So I mean, anything for family.
Anything for family, then. She just kind of says, like, yep, all right, that's cool. Good to know. And maybe she like blinks a little bit like at first, but then she's like, okay, that sounds accurate, I guess. And she just says, first of all, I want to apologize for speaking to you the way I did earlier in regards to oh my gosh, what the heck? In regards to Alpheus. I was heated in the moment and I should not have spoken to you that way.
No, Maya, I think I should thank you as well. I appreciate your apology, but there is something else I would thank you for. You have been striving so much lately to save your husband and your son, and it is an admirable pursuit to some extent. But there is a problem. You see, I was once like you. I went to great lengths to attempt to keep my family safe. And it was those very actions that lost me my wife and placed her into a place where I do not know the dangers she faces.
I understand. But I guess that's where you and I are different, Joser. Joser, Hagiel, I don't know what you prefer to be called anymore. And she kind of like looks at it's like a question almost.
He probably just looks at you without anything on his face.
Okay, then she'll just keep going and she'll just say, Joser, Hagiel, you're a god. I am not. I'm just a girl who, by some stroke of fate, got dealt a really good hand with my husband. I have an amazing son. Maybe it's all the fate of the father. It's all in the Irida. It's all prophesied. That's great. I don't doubt any of that anymore. But to say that me putting my family before myself is foolishness, I think we both know that that's not true. Malekith, Ben, they are more important than I am in this whole thing. If we're going to save this world, you need both of them. The reality is that I'm not as useful. And I know that. I'm fine with that. I've reconciled with that. I'm okay being a nobody to the world. Because I know that I'm not a nobody to Malekith and Ben, and that's all I care about.
I have never particularly worried about whether you were useful to the efforts. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, Joser.
The worldly pursuits are secondary. My fears have always come when your pursuit for the material safety and preservation come at risk of your soul.
I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, Joser, is that I'm trying, I'm really trying to see that there's more than just my family. Don't you get it? It's not that yes, okay, I guess I want my family to survive. I want that more than anything. But I also know that you need them in order to do what you're going to do. And you don't need me. So if there's a way that if Malekith is in danger, if I can save him, if you can do something to transfer my life to his, please do it. I know you care about my soul, but I care more about Malekith, and I care more about this world.
And that, I'm afraid, is the problem.
Well, I'm afraid that you think that one soul is more important than everybody else's.
One soul is worth a lot more than you can imagine.
Exactly.
And your soul, well, it is precious to me, is when we were given charge of this place, Maya, we were told to inhabit it, to subdue it, yes. But our primary charge has always been people's souls. The world will eventually end. Even if we save it today, perhaps it will last another 100 years. A millennia. Perhaps more. But eventually it will fall. I care more about the things that are permanent than the temporary ones. My efforts here, I seek to save this world with all my heart, but my soul is committed elsewhere. Your soul should be too.
I see what you're saying, Joser, and I understand. Or I'm trying to, at least. But I don't know. I guess I just don't call me ignorant, and maybe this is blasphemy. I don't think she's like trying to find the words to say it, but like
Maya, I will make you a deal. You say you are not a big instrument in this aspect, this current plan. If that is so, you may have all the time in the world to focus on your soul. I give you leave. Focus on that. If the time comes where you are instrumental, if I have need to use your life, I will consider it. But if that is to happen, I would be much gladder to give our lives if we know where the souls are going. I would be loath to use your life if I do not have assurance of that.
so. Okay, just talking out of player here. I guess what is I'm sure Maya would understand what you're saying, but I guess I'm not fully tracking with what you're saying.
I honestly think these may be like two unrelated like checks against one another. In terms of,
because to what it sounds like to me is basically you're saying, Maya, you need to like go away. If you really
not necessarily go away. He's more like if you're not going to, if you say you're not really helpful like right now in terms of actually getting things done, then he wants you to spend your time essentially in his mind making your soul right with the Father. That's what he cares about. And then like, because then he'll have assurance of like, if your soul is right with the Father, well, you can die and that's fine. Right. That's the idea of like, yeah. Like, me personally in real life, I'm fine with dying because I have like assurance of salvation.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Like you can do the martyrdom thing because you know where your soul's going. Whereas if he would be loath to essentially make you a martyr if you're not actually, especially if he doesn't know that whether you are right with the Father or not. So his persuasion is like, can you please take care of your soul? And your one is like persuading.
Take a sabbatical, Maya.
Yeah. And then not even sabbatic. You can do it normally.
Well, yeah. So
just asking him and talking about it with him would also suffice. But yes, and then you would be making a check to say whether truthfully or not, depending on my check, that yes, you'll work on that and essentially persuade me that when the time comes, I will go that on the assumption that you are right with the Father. Like I won't spend time dilly-dallying and checking whether you're okay before doing it. I'll just assume that you've worked on it.
Right. Okay. Got it. Okay. So yeah, you basically want to try to convince me that like I need to care about my soul. Okay.
Correct.
Yeah. Fair enough. Go for it. Yeah.
That sounds like a persuasion test to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling you will probably pass this with flying colors.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he has a persuasion of 2.
I have a
but
persuasion.
a billion forks. So,
Look,
you know.
Ugly truth. You're going to tattoo it if it doesn't work.
You're going to go to hell if you don't do this.
Actually, let me get a notepad. Okay. Yeah, so that probably soothing.
That's the fun thing about Joser. He kind of constantly straddles that line and goes back and forth between soothing platitudes and ugly truth. Somehow it always works to be both at the same time.
Your life sucks, but that's okay.
Irida says.
I think you can fork in persuasion.
Yeah.
Right, because you're talking about making a deal. Like, this is beneficial for you. Like, I will do what you ask as long as, you know.
Yeah. He has kind of gone wax lyrical, so I'm not sure I could get oratory for that.
Yep.
I didn't particularly fixate on etiquette, so I don't think I get that.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. Or am I lying? Can I get lying for essentially saying I won't check in if you promise me this when I totally will? Depending on
sure, yeah. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah, if she persuades me, then I will. But at least my current intent is no. I've still got to check it on you.
Yeah.
I
am going to be way more nosy than I'm implying.
Mm-hmm. Philosophy.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. I forgot you had that skill for a second.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think religious history or anything is here.
No.
Doctrine and astrology, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about it.
I think so. Just that,
Yeah, just those.
Just those.
Okay.
So, suasion with 9 forks.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Maya's will is 6.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I have an instinct that says I always pray before addressing someone.
Sure,
Should I do a
I'm sure Maya would let
thing?
you, right?
No, I don't know. Honestly,
yeah.
I don't know because you just said let's make a deal, so she's either going to take the deal right now or not. So, just being honest, I don't know.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you had prayed before the conversation, right? Like, let me have a conversation with her that'll lead to this.
Yeah. Could I still do it and bump up the old by 1?
Wait, what?
I'm gonna see if I can. Can I?
If
Joseph did it
and prays in the middle of this,
of like, Father, if she is a soul under your care, grant her understanding at this moment of the true importance and weight of her soul.
And then just increase the ob by 1 for the test that he's making.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like, would you strictly not allow the prayer?
No,
I just but it just makes it. It's just maybe off-putting, so it increases the difficulty.
Yeah, probably.
Yep. So yeah, he's gonna see if we can increase some. Oops, that's not the one I was doing. I was meant to do faith. I clicked on my wrong button.
Well, too bad.
That
would have been the amount of successes you needed.
Okay. We'll do this, and then that, and that's better. I get 1 extra dice. There you go. Now we go back to the other one. Let's see. Suasion with 10 helps.
You're not going to get it now.
It's obstacle. Yeah, I probably won't. And so it'll be ob 7. Okay. Kill.
Oh.
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Amazing.
Excellent. I'm going to do the fate first. And I'm going to put 2 in here. And how many extra dice is that? 3 extra dice. 4 remaining ob, 3 extra dice. Submit. So that's remaining ob 3. Excellent. And how many dice was it? 2. That was one of the 6s that ended up being a success. So I've still got 9 failed dice, I think it is.
Yep, 9.
So I will use my colon.
Revered.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's
Joser is
remaining
a
on
god.
3.
He can't help but be convincing in matters of the spiritual.
Oh
With
yeah. Oh, does
9 remaining
Revered let
dice.
you roll fail
It's a
dice
call
for
on for persuasion. Yep.
Oh, oh man. All right. Dang it! I was hoping to get a falsehood in here.
Yep. And then 9 is the remaining dice. Because it was one of the 6s that ended up being a...
Mm-hmm.
Dupe. That's better.
Nice.
Man.
There you go.
Man, I guess I gotta care about my soul now.
What a bummer.
No one likes their soul. Oh, dear.
Yeah, how's Maya respond then?
I suppose Maya would respond like
you can still make your persuasion check.
okay.
Because basically it'll be the difference. Like if he's right next to you, then he'll still consult with you because that's just plain sense. But if he's like away from you and there's a chance to do it, then like if you succeed on this test, then he will just do it without actually going out of his way to consult you. Essentially.
Wait, I'm confused. What do you mean?
Essentially you can still make your persuasion to say Josa, just go ahead if there's a chance. And if you succeed, then like he won't go out of his way to check on how your soul journey is going. Like if he's right next to you, then of course he'll go check in, but let's kind of be rude if he didn't.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because basically what she's asking, right, if like something happens to Malekith, like use my life to like save his, basically.
Yeah.
So let's see. I'm trying to remember this conversation. Caleb, what do you think I could realistically work in here?
And so you're trying to basically convince him just go ahead with the martyrdom plan if you need to.
Yeah.
Like don't worry about it. Like I will do what you said. And this is persuasion, not falsehood, because
I'm actually gonna
being truthful about it. Yeah. Let's see.
Man, I have a call on for falsehood too. I really wanted to do a falsehood.
Yeah.
Probably soothing platitudes.
Okay.
But I'm not sure there's a whole lot else.
Well, I think I was trying to go for a possible ugly truth of like, like if you don't do this, like, and something happens, then like you're not going to be able to save this world.
Yeah, that's
but I know Joser, he's like, well, I care more about the soul and whatnot. But I think deep down, relevant. Right? Yeah. Like I think he still is like.
Yeah, this would be a different story if Malekith hadn't already, at least in Joser's eyes, made amends with the father.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I think both of those are fine. But I'm not sure.
Yeah, I give you.
Else. Well, again, because it's not about. She's trying to come at you like it's not about Malekith. Like I'm trying to reconcile like this to get across this point that like yes, I care about my husband. Yes, I care about Ben. Like
I'm trying to think of the bigger picture here.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to do that. People have been telling me to do that, and I'm trying to do that. Yeah. And like if this is a way I can do that, please like let me do this. So, okay.
I think it's just those two forks.
Okay.
Look,
you're not acting
as me. I would totally give you drama wise for this like supposed situation where it's like you have to choose one of the both of us. It's like,
you know what? Yeah, that makes sense. I'll give it to you. Yeah. I was honestly like teetering on the edge of that one. I was thinking about it for that exact reason. Yeah.
Thank you. I did shed a tear or two. I don't know if you caught it or not, but I did it. I got it.
Alyssa is always good at those.
Those very serious moments. Yeah. I can cry on cue, my friends. Mm-hmm. Not really, but
yeah. Okay. You didn't show me any obeisance as a god, so you can't get etiquette. Sorry.
Yes. No.
I'd argue I kind of tried to. I was like, do you prefer Hagiel? Do you prefer Joser? Like,
that's true. No, yeah. I'll give it to you. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. I would argue that I was trying to be, and you didn't answer me.
That's a very irrelevant point. Yep.
And okay. All right. I feel like Maya cares a lot about this, so I'm going to spend one persona in this as well.
Up is 5. correct, Joser? No increases on that? You're muted.
Yeah, just 5.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
There you go. 8 successes. Congrats. Everybody's on the same page. Maya will care about her soul. Joser will let her martyr herself if she needs to.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun.
Man, I've got 8 fate in persuasion and 11 persona in persuasion.
You and Alpheus both have been doing a lot of persuading.
Yeah. It's kind of disgusting, to be honest. So I think Maya will like turn to you and she'll like nod her head. She says, Joser, you've got a deal. I guess I don't know how to be right with the Father. I don't know what to do. I've never been taught.
And that is a very true statement. Like her entire life has been raised in like the normal, like cult religion of the normal pantheon, which is hopelessly corrupted past its original intent, right?
And so I think in this moment, she like kind of looks at you and she's like, yeah, then show me. I'm open.
And Joseph smiles at you and says, I would be happy to, but perhaps the person you could start with is someone who has only very recently done the same.
I'm assuming you're referring to Thalia.
No, he shakes his head.
She didn't say it.
Cocks his head. Yeah. So he just like cocks his head, and the pauldron goes and flies up and like lands on your shoulder.
The scarab.
And Joseph says,
"Oh yeah, she also
Malekith,
says, please don't tell Malekith about this plant deal. By the way, he will kill me. I will get right with the Father, but like
he nods and like taps the scarab and says, "Hello, Malekith. Your wife had some questions to ask you and some things to talk about."
And remind me again, Josh, does Malekith know about this connection yet? Have you?
I don't know. I don't think we established that. I think we established that I'd done it before.
You just like
we came here.
Oh, okay.
But
it was it a thing where you like talked to Malekith about it and set it up, or was it just like Joser sets it up without Malekith knowing?
Joser set it up at least without Malekith's help because I rolled it without his help. So
yeah, so I think Malekith just says, "Joser, where? What's happening? Where are you?" Sounds like it's coming from a microphone.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you've got a toaster mic. I'm talking to you through our spirit familiars. We are still linked like brothers, after all.
I suppose that makes sense. Sorry, say what you said again. I was just kind of confused by my crab suddenly glowing and talking to me.
Your wife wanted to discuss some things with you, and figured you would be the person to ask about the particular subjects.
Yeah, we hear a hint of emotion in his voice, and he says, "Maya, are you there?" Like,
yes, I'm here, and I've seen. And she's like, "Yes, I'm here, and I've seen Ben. He's okay."
Oh, thank the Father. You're muted.
No, I just said it quietly.
Oh, okay.
Thank the Father.
And she like, I guess, did you hand me the crab? I guess.
Yeah, it's currently sitting on your shoulder instead of mine.
Okay. So I think she'll like grab the crab and like hold it like in her hands, and she'll just
the scarab, yeah.
The scarab. And she'll just say, well, Joser has kind of convinced me that I want to be right with the Father, but I don't really know how to do that.
Yeah, Malekith says, yes, we made a lot of mistakes in what we did to this place. We let lies taint everything until we were the ones being worshipped. But I can tell you now, looking at the state of things, We're not beings worthy of worship. And then I don't know if like we need like a big Malekith explains faith to Maya scene necessarily. I think we just maybe get it implied more than anything, right? Like he's just like, let me tell you how it all began for me. And then like we just kind of fade out from the conversation there, right? Mm-hmm. And he's basically just gonna like talk to you about just what it was like, how the religion was supposed to work way back when, and how it got twisted, and try to kind of like clear up some things in your doctrine brain, like in the what you've been taught versus like what's true, and to try to like confirm some things for you. But I think let's like focus on that a little bit more next session and do some like rolls and stuff with that.
I'm soul searching.
Then a little bit of soul searching for Maya. And yeah, let's make like a roll or two here to finish out with the Ness and Hur stuff. I think it would be a dramatic thing to end on, and then we can pick up with the rest of the stuff next time. So I think you guys show up at the temple, and what's your game plan here? To just like Maya has a contact, some sort of like archpriest or whatever, right? That you can talk to. Oh, what's your plan here? Just like show up, Joser glows, and warn everybody.
Well, I mean,
I think I guess we should probably talk about that ahead of time, Josh. Like, I'm assuming you'd want to take the lead on this because you know more, unless you want Maya to talk first, but how to introduce you into it. But
yeah, he kind of like as you're talking about, it's like there are a couple of ways we could approach this. We could try and get in contact with the lady herself, or we could tell her followers to start enchanting weapons. Probably won't be able to actually kill them, but would perhaps send them back temporarily to Tatort. Because I think like I'm not sure exactly what Maya's intent in getting in contact with them is.
To try to save. Well, try to save her, right, from dying in the first place. And if we can't prevent that, then how can we prevent them from killing her as a human? So I guess that's really the first step. Is there a way for us to actually like prevent this death in the first place? And I don't even know if her followers know that this is happening. I don't know.
They are definitely going to be aware of something being wrong because they typically worship. They had like Hopsef and Ness and Hur together are what make enchanting possible. So one of them being dead makes things wonky at the very least. So they might not know why, but
I guess I could just come in guns a-blazing. Hopsef is dead. If you don't want your goddess to die too, listen to us.
That could be a tactic. That's an ugly truth test, right?
I'm just kidding. No, I don't think she'd do that.
Yeah. I mean, honestly. Yeah. I mean, if that's probably
okay,
a good way to go.
Is that what we're doing, Joser? Okay, you're just lay it out for them.
Yeah, Joser would like turn up and just like give them the whole history of the religion and why it's all stuffed up.
Okay, so I guess Maya, like, I guess at this point she's just like, okay, if I'm going to care about other people's souls, I just need to cut the crap. Yeah. So when she like gets to her contact, I'm assuming this is probably somebody that saw one of her plays like years ago or something.
Years ago, something like that. Yeah.
And so, she's like, it's nice to see you. I'm so sorry for barging in this like this. I'm assuming you've noticed some weird things going on. It's because Hopsef is dead. And if we don't act quickly, your goddess will probably be dead as well. This is Hagiel, by the way. He can explain the rest.
Hi, yes. Ness and Hur blocked my number years ago. It's been a pain. But we really need to get into contact with her and possibly protect her from being horribly killed. I tried to help Hopsef, only it was a bit hard. It was hard when it was just me and my followers trying to save another god. Perhaps if we ask you her own followers, we may have a better chance at doing the thing we hope to.
Yeah, I think this person probably just says, I think you're going to want to talk to the high priest about this. And I think this person, like your successful circles roll has let you convince this person that you're serious enough to just give you the audience, right? But the high priest is the one you're going to have to actually convince. So I think we can probably just cut from in media res scene craft there and then just make the roll and then see how it goes.
And Joseph would probably if they have to go through any more steps of bureaucracy than one, he's literally just gonna start telling the whole priesthood in here about it.
Yeah, and I don't think they do, right? You just get the audience right away. Yeah. Okay, so Maya, I assume you're doing Ugly Truth then?
Yeah.
And then Joser, what are you helping with?
It depends what kind of Ugly Truth it is. But probably just oratory or something.
Yeah, oratory makes sense.
Yeah.
Is that it? What's that at?
It's B2 dice helping.
Oh, right. I thought you said B2 for at first,
no.
But yeah. Okay, so that means 2 advantage right away for you, Maya, and then persuasion makes sense. You said it was in their best interests.
Yeah.
And drama-wise, this is a very dramatic situation.
Just
yeah, exactly.
Perhaps etiquette since we approach them the right way.
Yes. It's not like you're being bad with etiquette, but I don't know if there's any specific emphasis on etiquette though. So yeah, I don't know if that one makes sense. I'm not sure you added any soothing platitudes.
But don't worry,
we could add in there is something we can do about it.
But there's hope. We can help.
We also have Hagiel here. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
We haven't gone on our side.
That's fine.
I know we're not actually playing out the whole thing. If we were, we would sound much more soothing. Soothing-y.
Soothing is already the word, Ellis.
I know. I'm just making a play on it. I'm just adding a play. I'm just trying. I'm just trying to be funny and cute. Okay.
All right.
That wasn't me actually messing up the English language that time. Okay.
I am going to try and faith increase her persuasiveness.
Okay.
That's the thing I can do.
Oh, you mean my ugly truth?
Yeah. I'm going to try and give you...
Right now you have 5 dice, Maya.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this roll.
I think it's going to be an ob 7. Stubborn priestess.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, never mind. I'm not feeling so good about this roll now. I thought this was just going to be an ob 1 worst case scenario kind of a thing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot it was
it's the difficulty of the truth.
It's still incredibly complex. And there's so many factors to it. I think it's still going to be an ob 7. Right? Not for her will, but just super complicated truth. That's the thing. There's no context for this for them, right? The only context that maybe they have is something's going wonky with enchanting. But this is Hagiel, and they have to somehow believe this is true. It's still a very, very hard truth.
Oh man,
for them to insta accept. Instead, but 3 extra LP dice.
3 extra.
Okay, so wait, so I've got
actually 2 extra LP dice.
So 8 helping die. Okay. Man, okay, yeah. Trying to think if there's anything else I could work in. I don't think I'm.
You know what? I'll make it ob 6. I'll make it ob 6. We'll
okay.
We'll lower a little bit.
Because yeah. If it was me rolling, it would probably be easier, but you're the one with the actual belief, so
yeah.
I know, but I technically already worked on the belief, but
and Maya's the one who had the contact here, right? If Joser just showed up randomly, he doesn't know any of these people, so yeah.
Okay. All right. That's 8 die. As far as I've got 12 against. Okay, I've got 12 against 6. All right, these are pretty good odds.
It's not too bad.
Yeah,
faith.
Good odds, but I still have faith. fate. Yeah, I'm good. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
1-6.
I'm gonna use 2 fate.
Okay.
Oh man, please.
It's like a 70% chance of success.
Don't tell me that. Don't tell me that because I just know that I'm gonna fail this now. Caleb, you just ruined it.
I'm sorry.
You ruined it.
For the sake of the tests, I'll actually help with astrology because that's helpful. That'll
You can
actually
help
be
with.
helping me.
I will say you can help with this. I'm confused.
No, as in just the skill I was using to help you is different.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay.
It's still 2 helping dice that I was giving you. It's just
Okay. No! Oh, wait. I got it. Why did I... No. Why did I put 2? I meant to put... I put base up 2. I don't know why. I think I only put 1 dice.
And you only put 1 die in there too. Yeah.
So you're good.
So I'm good.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. I just mixed up the numbers.
Yep.
Okay, I'm good.
All right. So I think
I really want to save this god, okay? I don't want this god to die.
I think we don't even need to see the rest of it. We just know that, like, for once, the honest approach just snaps them out of it, right? Because they probably do have, they've been wondering, they've been worried, they have no idea what's going on, and you give them the answer, like the right, completely accurate, very helpful answer, and for once, the person's just like, you know what? I'm going to go on a limb here and just say, I believe you. Just like everyone just goes into motion, and you have the priests of both Hopsef and Nessun, who I think they're like a twin temple sort of a thing, right? Any of these priests are worshiping both of them because they're both like involved in enchanting. At least here in Nema, that's how it works. So they all just get together and help you do whatever you need to do next. But we can probably save that for next time, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Can I just make one? Well, technically it's a series of 2.
So I wanted to make sure that if there's anyone else who wants to work on something, I know Alfia still had a talk with Spiridon he wanted to do, and I know you still had a thing, Joser. We could do either of those or one of those.
Yeah, mine's literally 2 rolls, so
yeah, go for it.
I'll just make them right now.
Do it. What are you doing again here?
Well, first I'm increasing dices. So yeah, cool. And then I'm going to try and make some weather.
Yes.
So I'm going to try and make the like all the, what's it called? All the trails through the mountains super foggy. So that it's going to be way more difficult to get the people down. So give us some extra time.
Sounds good.
I think it's either ob 4 or 5.
What are they listed as?
Approximate time or accurate time, I think.
We probably want accurate time.
Probably. Weather sense.
Because like accurate time would mean like you know how long you have is the idea, right? Like how long this delay is actually going to be effective.
Yep.
Go for it.
So I will. So it'll be a perception test with 3 helps. And I'll put a persona in it too. Base obstacle 5.
There you go.
Sweet.
Yep. So Joser prepares some foggy weather to slow the advance of the horde. That helps. Very good. So I know it's getting late here. I just want to, if you wanted to do that conversation with Spiridon, we could. Otherwise, we could save it for next time. Totally up to you.
I mean, it shouldn't take long.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring too.
So, I mean, I would just walk up to him and be like, hey, I got to talk to you. And then be like, did you know Titan killed my dad?
Yeah, Spiridon was back at the like palace of the guy, like working at logistics. So we can say that's like everyone's kind of broken up into their own groups and doing their various things. And Alpheus goes back to that palace to like talk to Spiridon.
Okay.
So yeah, he's probably like taking a break from the strategy session they were having and Yeah, you just say that.
Yeah, I say, hey, I've been thinking about something, and we've never talked about it. But did you know that Titan killed my dad?
I was aware, yeah.
And why didn't you kill him then?
I tried to back in my manor, but he got the better of me.
Oh, yeah, you did. Well, I want to kill him. I hate that guy.
Get in line, Alpheus.
Well, I can't kill him because I can't fight. So I know you're busy. But I hate Titan. I have to see him. He needs to be buried in the ground. Yes. So I need you to help me do that.
Spiridon strokes his beard and says, Alpheus, as much as I agree with the sentiment, I don't want you to end up in the hole instead of Titan. And I need to be leading an army. What exactly do you need from me? I don't want to send you after Titan, even with some guards. That doesn't sound like a good idea to me.
No, not right now. I just needed to talk to you because I can't stop thinking about him. I can't stop thinking about what he did and what he's done to me. How long has it been? Like years?
Since your dad died?
No, since like Titan's been my arch enemy.
Well, I mean, he was your ally at first. I think since he became your enemy, it's only been months.
Okay.
Right? Maybe 5 months or something like that.
But basically for the last half a year then, like he's been plaguing my life.
Yeah. Yeah, he says, I understand, Alpheus. I get revenge. Believe me. I just don't know what you expect me to do about it. Do you want me to send my own assassin after him?
No, I want to tell him.
I have one of those.
Yeah, no. I think Alpheus wants him to basically like just give him his word that once we take back Sinia, that he'll help me find him and kill him.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead and make the roll. I think he might refuse that or he might accept, depending.
What am I rolling? Is that just another persuasion?
Persuasion, yeah, it sounded pretty straightforward. In your best interest to help me. It's going to be an ob 6, I think. His will is 5, but I think it's a little bit more difficult than usual. You want to roll it flat?
Yeah, why not?
I'm not sure you have any forks.
It wouldn't help. Oh, actually, yes, it would just help. Sorry.
What?
8 versus 6. Sorry. I was thinking verse 5. But yeah.
Wow, you actually failed the persuasion roll. You can mark that difficult test. You can spend 1 or 2 fate if you'd like. And then you have call-ons.
Yeah, but I can't use Handshaker because I didn't.
Yeah, right? you can use Driven though. Well, I don't know if you can use Driven actually, because Driven is about like isn't it about the Ben belief really?
No, Driven. I've used Driven for all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, but like they're usually Driven is supposed to be in any given time. It's about one particular driving goal.
Yeah,
which I guess.
Yeah, but the skill is to do with the goal, but the actual when you can use it isn't tied to it.
It says that specifically, or just doesn't say.
Yeah, it says it's a call on for one skill that is related to one of the goals, but it doesn't say only.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. That's a good wording. Yeah. Good rules call there. You can go ahead and do that, but you might as well spend fate first.
But yeah, should I use fate first? Is what I'd say so. Ask.
Yeah.
And I can use 2.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 1 6 and 1 failed die, and the remaining ob is 3. All right. So that means I think you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 failed dice. Because that, I think it was the failed dice that you were re-rolling with fate that got that 4, so it became a success. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you want to do your call on, which makes sense, there's no other thing to use it on. Session's almost over. Just do the same thing you did with the fate bubble, except you have 5 dice and 2 remaining ob left.
No.
Oh no!
Or did I do it wrong?
No, you did it right. Oh, bummer.
Oh, dang.
Yeah,
Hey,
you can't
there's a
use your other
first for
call on.
everything.
Yeah. I think what he does is he says, "Sure, Alpheus, I'll do that," and he has absolutely no intention of doing it because, like, he just knows you, and he's envisioning this. He's like, I might die in this whole thing anyway. Also, even if I do live to see this, I'm not gonna let my grandkid get killed by Titan. Like, no, we're just gonna live happily ever after in Sinia. Like, I'm not risking you, Alpheus. He's basically gonna just lie to you in this moment. And I think part of the failure is you just believe the lie. Like, I don't think he has to make a roll or anything. I think you're just like caught up in the moment, and he agrees, and you're like, sounds good. We're gonna do it, Grandpa. We're gonna kill that guy. Yeah. But he's lying to you. So
that honestly makes sense. Oh, I feel like he either would do that or he would be like, "You got to let it go, man." Like,
I don't think he would. Spiridon's the sort of guy who understands revenge and would never give you a speech about like, no, revenge is bad. It poisons you.
Yeah,
like, he's not that kind of guy. So he's just got to like lie to you about it because he doesn't want you to die. Right. Yeah. He doesn't care if you have burning hatred towards him the rest of your life. He does too, but he's just not going to act on it because he's not.
Because he could have killed him a long time ago, right?
No, Titan's a powerful individual in the government, right? That was part of the issue. And honestly, I think Spiridon maybe even says like, I never saw the man. Like, I never met the man. That time
he just knew who he was.
I knew about him. Yeah, I knew about him. That time in the manor was the first time I actually had an opportunity to try to kill the guy. So, yeah.
All right, sweet.
Very good. I think we've like gotten everyone to work on all of their beliefs. Is that correct? I think it might be.
Maybe.
I don't know. Did Carly get to work on all of hers?
I think so. Yeah. Very fun. All right, let's hand out buckets of Artha, I suppose. Alpheus. You will do everything you can to keep him safe and establish him as king. You're still working on it. Like, there wasn't some sort of concrete step that you took, but you got fate for it, right? You were doing it the whole time. You're kneeling to the king, all that stuff. So that's a fate. Persona, because you got a small place in Sinia's leadership once this is all said and done, right?
Very small.
But that's what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
And then persona for. Well, no, just a fate, because you technically failed.
I didn't actually get it.
Mm-hmm, you didn't actually get an ally towards helping Titan, but you worked on it, so fate. I think that might be it for you, though.
Yeah. I didn't do... None of my instincts were... Well, what about my third instinct? Ensure that those I trust are lifted up?
Sure, yeah.
Because I supported Ben for that.
Yep. Yeah, it's not like... It didn't get you in trouble, but it did flavor the scene in a fun way, so...
Yeah.
I think that's probably it, though.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Joser.
Make sure I'm unmuted. I am unmuted. Excellent. I did make preparations for the Tartuan's approach.
You did? Persona?
I did improve anticipation-wise.
Okay, yep. Mm-hmm.
And we have made a concrete step with Abra.
Yes, Persona. Very good. All right. I'll give you a fate for always pray before addressing others, right? Like, that came up as a conflict. It made your roll harder. It didn't actually get you into trouble, but it still flavored the scene in a fun way. So, fate there. I'm gonna give you a fate also for if I see wounds, I mend them in a proverbial sense, right? Maya's whole soul searching thing. Right? You saw a soul in need, and you reached out and mended. Let's see. I think that's probably it, though. Not sure any of your traits. Do you have an argument for any traits?
Apart from maybe strange.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something that Joser did that was like out of the ordinary strange from like his normal proceedings, though.
Maybe we could go spirit familiars, but I don't know. As to, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if either of those like came up in a way that they hadn't already come up. Like it didn't like, you know.
Yeah. No, I was more thinking about like Skion, this whole deal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and talking to Strange was talking to what's her name, to Avra about Alikos without any context whatsoever. I still don't think she has any context for that.
Yeah, let's just give you a fate for Strange for that entire thing that happened with Alikos and Scan and all that stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. Maya.
I no. I worked on. I will teach him how to be charismatic. I don't. Think
yeah. You didn't actually like take him aside like you planned, but you did like get a test towards child rearing.
Right. With that. Yeah. Okay. So that, I will learn more about Nessa and Hora. I guess I phrased that kind of weirdly, but I'm working on it.
I think you're working on it. Yeah. Next time you'll definitely learn more about her.
I did smooth things over with Avra and Caledon.
Persona. Yep.
Okay. I will convince Joser that my husband is more important than me to the success of this mission.
There you go. Persona.
I'm actually surprised I did that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else that came up for my I'll give you a fate for religious. Like the fact that you still have that on your character sheet is what is making that whole sequence possible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's probably it.
Okay.
Cool. And then Avra.
You did all my things.
You did all the things. Yeah, Persona for first belief, for consulting with Joser about the next step. Just general ear to, figuring all that stuff out. You made sure your status as close as legitimate relationship to Thestios is considered in discussions about Bane's kingship. Persona. You determined whether Alpheus's actions needed further investigation. Yep, all Persona.
5%. Not going to die anytime soon, so that's good.
Yep. Let's see. Anything jumping out to you for instincts or traits this session?
Maybe. Oh well, I guess it didn't really get me in trouble. Never mind.
Which one?
Instinct 2. Just because I relied on it a lot, but it didn't get me into trouble.
Yeah. Agreed. I'll give you a fate for no. Yeah, I don't know if any of your other stuff came up in a significant enough way for fate, probably. Yeah.
Did we give her affinity for birds die when it came up?
No, I suppose not. Yeah, totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I didn't realize it had like a functional.
I don't think the trait came up in a particular way either, though. Beyond what we already knew about Abra.
It didn't really appeal to Dion as a bird.
As a bird, yeah, it was as a sentient being, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at it real quick. Any in-character game-stopping humor this time? I know there's plenty of funny moments that I remember, but I think most of them are out of character. I'm trying to remember.
Also with that one, I always listen to the sessions during the week again. So if you want to, I can just list when I'm listening back to it. Remember when people laughed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If there's something that jumps out, feel free to always mention it.
Yep.
Yeah, we were funny this time, but I think most of it was out of character, so nothing comes to mind. Right skill, right time. Anything like unique or interesting that someone used this time that ended up being useful? Because typically it's like if it's the thing you always use, that's not an instance of right skill, right time.
Mm-hmm.
I think everyone was mainly using the stuff they always use.
Yeah, I think Apothecary and Suasion.
Yeah. I was actually just going to say, I think Suasion was the one I was thinking of. I'll give you a fate for that, Joser. That makes sense. You have a buttload of minor skills that can come in handy. All right, embodiment. I'm thinking of nominating. I'm nominating Caledon for embodiment. I think he had a good moment today. Anyone else that we think might deserve a reward for really good or distinctive role playing? I mean, Joser and Maya seem really fun.
That just reminds me of the Obama meme. You know, Obama giving himself a medal meme.
Yeah,
we've gotten some good idea for memes today. I'm gonna make all of these. I've been noting them down.
Just put your face on it.
Yeah.
The DM giving an NPC embodiment.
Yeah. Obama giving himself a medal. Yeah. Very good. Okay. I need to make some memes tomorrow. I'm trying to think of like if Joser or Maya, and particularly in that conversation, like stood out as really good or distinctive role playing beyond what we're just kind of used to as like the standard.
What, my tears are now standard?
Yeah, we're like a drug, Alyssa. We just we have to step up every time.
Exactly. Yeah, it keeps having to be better and better.
This is why you have to be a really mediocre role player, so then you can just do it marginally better, and you can.
I think I'll give it to Joser, and no, we'll give it to both Joser and Maya. I think there was multiple times that stuff happened. I'm gonna give it to Alpheus too, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I think all three of you earned stuff for various things. Joser, the thing I'm thinking of is all of the stuff with like just dropping lore hints throughout the entire session because he's cryptic and weird, and yeah, that's just so Joser. Maya for the Alyssa does a great job with like her like tears on command and just generally like being very serious with Maya and like really embodying the character. And then Alpheus, the moment where you just knelt. Piece de resistance. It's very good. I thought it was very impactful.
So what is up embodiment?
It's a persona.
Persona. Okay.
So extra persona for all of you.
Sweet. I need to use some.
I know. Yeah. And I think that is it. But yeah, Joser, if you listen, or Josh, if you listen back through and notice anything else, feel free to point it out.
For the beliefs that we got persona for, do we need to completely rework those beliefs, or
just the last part of it, basically?
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, basically the
idea. I realized my first belief is still ultimately in the works.
Yep.
The next part of it will just look different.
Yep. Cool stuff. All right. I think the plan was, in theory, tentatively still play next Friday as well. But I guess we'll see what everybody's availability will be. So, just I'll remind everybody kind of early next week, and we can see where we're all at. Very fun. Lots of stuff happened. We got stuff done today. That was good. That's good. I think that'll be it for Death and Madness, though. We'll be back next time. Thanks for playing, guys. Adios.